技术日产人车生活。
长城蕴藏着中华脊梁，心镌刻着辉煌勋章。以下的心凝聚每一刻璀璨时光，以荣耀致敬每一个不凡人生。150年有为，举杯长城无息。安全、责任、清洁、陪伴、便捷，一直是上马能源对所有顾客的承诺。我们在中国以及全球范围内距离超过4000家载油服务站，每天服务超8万名顾客到大能源，在中国接触了每一位中国顾客，带去最优质的服务体验，为了让每一次停靠做好充分可靠的准备。好的，谢谢各位观众朋友们，你们来到2025年TotalEnergies BWF Sudirman美世界羽毛球混合及锦标赛的现场，欢迎各位。那现在呢，又来到我们的互动时间了，一个我们的摄像机会挑选到我们的幸运观众，我们的幸运观众可以获得由TotalEnergies提供的特别礼品们。而现在，让我听听欢呼声在哪里？我们来找到第1位。选择来自一个赛标的今天的我们选中了，对我们全场观众们打招呼好不好？哇，非常的棒！恭喜各位TotalEnergies提供的特别礼品，我们继续下。
This is the island city of Xiamen, founded in the 3rd century. It was formerly a haven for pirates, now a haven for some of the best badminton players in the world. They're all playing here at the state-of-the-art Xiamen Fenghuang Gymnasium, which is the biggest of its kind in China. We are here for the TotalEnergies BWF Sudirman Cup Finals 2025. This is the mixed team World Championships, effectively. They're all fighting for this 22-carat gold trophy, conceived by the former president of the Indonesian Badminton Association, Dick Sudirman. We're into the quarterfinal stage of the tournament. We've already had 2 big wins there for China and Japan over Malaysia and Chinese Taipei, respectively. They'll be facing each other, China and Japan, in the semi-finals tomorrow. And now the identity of the remaining semi-finalists to be revealed today. Well, Japan, as we said, they're beating Chinese Taipei early here on court 2. And we will have Denmark against Korea in just a short while. China are going to be playing tomorrow against Japan. Can't wait for that one. Here is Team Denmark, who have been at every edition of this tournament, but 5 straight quarter-final exits. Can they turn it around? Last they hit the semis in 2013. No Mia Blichfeld, no Victor Axelsen, 2 top players in singles, men's and women's, not available for this one. Team Korea, the second most successful nation in the history of this tournament. They've won it 4 times. Only China has done better than them. And they were runners-up at the last edition, losing to China in the final. They last won it in 2017. Only once have they failed at the quarter-final stage. That was in 2019. They've always made the semi-finals or better. That's how good they are. These are 2 big wigs of the sport. So let's tell you then the lineup in the order of play between Denmark and Korea. We start with mixed doubles. Jesper Toft and Emilie Mejlund are the newly crowned European champions. They take on Seo Seung-jae and Chae Yu-jung. So great to see them reunited after the Olympics. They're the 2023 world champions. In women's singles, the world #1, An Se-young. She's won every tournament she's played in this year, taking on Lena Højmark Kjærsveld. She too is a newly minted European champion. In men's singles, this one is going to be a David Goliath battle. Anders Antonsen, world #3 runner-up at this year's Malaysia Open, taking on the 2022 Korea Masters winner Jeon Hyuk-jin. Women's doubles next scratch pairing of Natasja Antonissen and Alexandra Boye. They'll be having a tough task against the world #3 pair, Baek Han-na and Lee So-hee. They're the 2024 World Tour Finals winners. And finally, if we get this far, men's doubles. This one's going to be a cracker. Kim Astrup and Anders Skaarup Rasmussen, the world #1 pairing, the 2024 World Tour Finals champions, against a new pairing that's taken the world by storm. Kim Won-ho and Seo Seung-jae. They've already won 3 tournaments this year since getting together, including the All England. Well, lots of big names there, huge stars, massive excitement. We can't wait for it. I know the man next to me certainly has been chomping at the bit. Multiple medalists here. Bobby Griffin, Jesper Toft, Emilie Mejlund versus Seo Seung-jae and Chae Yu-jung. Can't wait.
That's really exciting. The Danes have been in terrific form in the last 12 months or so, picking up titles on the World Tour during that tour of USA and Canada last year. They've gone from strength to strength since then. They've got on top of Tom Jikel and Delphine Delroux in Europe, confirming that twice at the European Mixed Team Championships and the European Championships over the last couple of months, so that they are in form. However, they're up against Seo Seung-jae and Chae Yu-jung. You know, that World Championships performance a couple of years ago now still rings in my mind. In Denmark. It was a shame. They were so close to an Olympic medal. They were so close to an Olympic final, losing against their teammates 23-21 in that semi-final. Then they played the Japanese in the bronze medal playoff and lost that. It was heartbreaking for them, and that was the last time we've seen them play until this week together as a pair.
Correct.
So if somebody says, right, who's going to win this, or who's favourite even for this one, it's really difficult to argue. It's really hard to say. And I just can't wait for it to get started so we can find out.
Yeah, this along with the men's doubles it's a great one. Just a discussion on who's a favourite, who do you think is going to win. I can't wait.
I thought that was a question then. I was
Wow, just putting it out there.
I'm avoiding it now.
First meeting between these pairs.
Emily, I have
You mentioned
black
losing
and
to
red.
another
Right.
Korean pair.
Black color for you.
One of that pair now, Kim Won-ho, is
It's black.
Xiao Sung-jae's
On my
partner
left side.
later on in the men's
Emily will serve.
doubles.
So Sung will receive.
Despite being such a major country in badminton, Xiao Sung-jae, he's just so good. They're not going to try and put in another pair. They wanted to play both the mixed and the men's.
Yeah, he's fantastic. He's been such a reliable performer over the last couple of years. They've been a little up and down in men's doubles, Xiao Sung-jae's partner, but in terms of mixed, great to see him on a mixed course again. And obviously Che's been playing with another partner of recent, but a little bit more about that in a minute.
Here is Jesper Toft, who is a whopping 2 meters tall, 7th in the world. That's his highest ever ranking. Emilia Malund, they're the European champions, as I said, just a few weeks ago. And together they have won 3 titles on the World Tour. All your Masters, the most recent one this year. Here's Emilia Malund, who's 24. And playing some of the badminton of their life, I think, as you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, I like to think that I'm their lucky mascot, actually, because I've been the commentator for Canada Open, the US Open last year, where they won titles, the Orléans Masters, where they won their 3rd, the European Championships, the European Mixed Team Championships. I've done a lot, so it bodes well today for them to have me here. That's how I'm playing it.
Basically, it's about you, yeah. You just saw their results there. And they've done well so far this week. Now, this is arguably one of the stars of world badminton. No, probably is the star of world badminton, isn't he? He's 27, 6 foot tall. Don't worry about that ranking. They're 66th in the world only because they haven't played since the Olympics, and their first match was earlier this week. But Xiao Sung-jae is just so good at both disciplines. Ranked inside the top 10 not too long ago in both of them. Che Yu-jung is 29 now.
Ready
6'2".
to play.
And it was really good to see them kind of get back together for that.
I've been enjoying watching, I mean, you can see the results there.
That's the only match they played.
Yeah, well, they needed to put out a strong team against Chinese Taipei in the 3rd match of the group stages to confirm the win in the group. Same with Xiao Sung-jae, he had a day off the day before against Canada, and then played twice against Chinese Taipei, and that just explains, I think, or displays where they need him, they'll put him in, and they put him in twice today. Che Yu-jung's been playing with the new guy, Lee Jong-min, semi-finalist at the All England last month, or month before now, we're into May. And semi-finalist at the Orléans Masters as well, their first tournament out. Yeah, they were really good.
Latif Jauhari of Indonesia, our umpire. Andrea Chiappini, the Italian service judge. Yeah, I mean, Bobby, this one, it really could go either way, couldn't it?
Well, there's a couple of things going on for me. First of all, whilst everyone knows and talks about China being the dominant force at the Sudirman Cup, they've medalled 18 times. Okay, loads of them have been gold.
Yeah.
Korea have medalled 17 times.
Correct.
So they're always there or thereabouts.
Yes. Just that one time they failed to get to the semis, but yeah.
Yeah, 4 times gold medalists. They were the losing finalists to China last year. Last time out, sorry, 2023. And 2023, of course, is another big year for some of these players on court. And one of the reasons I avoided that question earlier about the men's doubles, it's a repeat of the World Championship final, which went to the wire. Brilliant performance from the Danes at the time. They were really peaking, they were really getting on form now.
Yeah.
I'm not sure they're in the same sort of form now.
Agreed. Well, that's nicely, hasn't it? see, this will be the first really big test for this reunified mixed doubles pairing.
Yeah, I'd argue this is the test. I mean, yes, they played and they won against Chinese Taipei yesterday. They were pushed to the distance though by Chu Xingxie and Wang Qilin. Wang Qilin, again another. Well, that was in the men's double.
That was the men's, yeah.
Yeah, in the mixed, it was more comfortable, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But these two Danes are in brilliant form lately and will be a much tougher threat.
And, you know, we love to play these games, right? You look down at the matchups today, and it's so this match is absolutely crucial. If you're just a neutral looking down at these matchups and you like your badminton, you'll know that An Se-young is the overwhelming favourite in the women's singles. Anders Antonsen similar in the men's singles. So let's potentially 1-1.
Yeah.
Exactly. Fenghuang and Liso, again, overwhelming favourites there, right? So that would be at the moment 2-1. That's why this is absolutely crucial, this match.
Well, it is, because if the Danes win it, then we are more likely to see the result that a lot of people expect and also hope for, which is 2-2 after the fourth.
And then you go into
to see that great men's doubles.
Correct.
If Xiao and Jay win this, then there's a lot of pressure. The bookies would have them as really strong favourites to close out the tie.
Right.
And
by the women's doubles. Yeah.
Yeah.
After you were going to say about Antonsen because he lost against Aoi.
No, not at all. I really rate Abu Farhan from Indonesia.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised he won, in my view.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
I think some of the youngsters that have done so well at the World Juniors lately are now coming to fruition.
Yeah.
Including Obadilla from Indonesia, who we saw this year. He's still 17, by the way.
I mean, Farhan's not even that much older than him.
No, Farhan's I think 19, but those two are going to be names on the lips of a lot of badminton fans' mouths over the next couple of years. And also the Indian guy, Priyanshu Rajawat. Those three, they're brilliant. They are, for me, likely to be top 5, top 3 players in the world in a couple of years, yeah.
And that's relief for Indonesia when Christian Ginting sort of are eased out.
Oh, it's two massive names coming through.
Xiao Che taking the lead for the first time. That's gone long. What is it about Xiao Sung-jae? And I'm probably going to ask you this if we even get to the men's doubles, because everyone who plays with him just seems to raise their game. He brings out the best in his partners.
Yeah, he does. And interesting, we were chatting earlier with Chris Landry, weren't we? And we were talking about the men's doubles primarily, but of course similar sorts of skills on the mixed doubles court. He's very solid. Yeah. He's very safe. He's not high risk, especially in the first sort of 2 or 3 shots. He's like a brick wall, but almost a force in attack in the same vein. He's just in the right place with the right footwork and a good racket, and it's hard to get past him. And he brings that out in the mixed doubles as well as the men's.
Unsighted here. Yesmatov to just raised his hand, I think.
In the men's doubles, we see him with Kang, and they suit each other so well. They cooperate together as a pair so well. It's all well and good being two very, very good talents in badminton as men's doubles players, but if you don't play together in a style that's going to make that work to your benefit, then it's almost pointless. Let's have a look at this challenge. I think it's caught the line.
Ooh, no, it hasn't.
Serve 6-7. Play.
And how many players are we likely to see as double world champions at the same world championships?
Oh,
you know, I mean,
hadn't happened in a decade, I think.
It used to happen quite a lot.
Yeah.
And we used to see it with Korea and China in particular.
8-6.
And usually it's men's and mixed doubles or women's and mixed doubles. but we don't see it as much anymore. It's a really big test, and it's the reason why we haven't really seen them playing, or him playing mixed.
Well, I was going to ask you, what did you think of his decision to only focus? Did you just clutch her back there?
It was a knee and a back. It looked like a very awkward landing.
Oh yeah, good
First
point.
of all, the knee just sort of twisted. That left knee, which is
The one that's
heavily strapped up.
Yeah.
Great
He's done
serve.
well on these serves.
He's got a great serve, and hers is always solid. That was a great flick. Yeah, I mean, naturally disappointed. I like to watch these two playing mixed. I think they're a really nice pair to watch, Seo and Che. I'd probably say Kang and Seo are even more enjoyable to watch. Not in a kind of, I prefer men's doubles over, Kim and Seo, men's doubles over mixed. I just think those two as a pair work brilliantly together.
Right now, it's a nice tight start to this one.
Serve is full, too high. Serve over. 9-all, I believe.
Yeah,
Maybe quickly explain that for those who are new to the sport on what the service fault is about when they say too high.
Yeah, so we've got, I think it's Andrea Chiappini down there in the service judge chair on the left opposite the umpire, and he's looking through those two sort of vision guides with an upper and a lower level. I watched a really great YouTube and Instagram video recently from some of the sort of badminton content makers out there, some famous ones. I'm not going to mention them, but it's a really great video if you look for it to see how that happens. And I think David Evans, one of the BWF umpires, was used at the time to explain it, which was cool. But you can see it on the left there by the chair, the two yellow guides. He's looking through those guides with his eyes level with one to ensure that if the shuttle is played from above that line, it's a fault. It's 1.15 meters as a maximum height of the serve. So when she releases the shuttle, when it's hit by the racket, great shot.
Beautiful. They go into the interval here. A point in front, Xiao and Che.
That's lovely.
There you go, those are those lines that you were talking about.
Yeah. And it used to be sort of the bottom rib, which is crazy, isn't it? If you're 6'8" or if you're 5'1", it's a very different height.
Imagine these two, how different it would be, yeah.
Okay, hvis vi så bliver overspillet en enkelt gang, så må det være sådan. Okay. Også det, at vi slipper, og vi slår liv i luften. Vi skal ikke holde kort på det hele. Hvis der ligger nogle point til os på at trykke dem, så tager vi dem altså. Okay? Ja.
20 seconds. 20 seconds. 11, 10. Play.
As we thought, this is a tight affair so far. I think if this was Xiao and Che, and they've been playing consistently post-Olympics, you know, basically carrying on where they left off, might be a different story. In terms of, we're saying close now, right? And it is being close.
Well, they got up to number 2 in the world rankings,
right,
when they were on form and playing their best. At the moment, Softer Mayland are 7th, with these guys down at 66, which is an unfair sort of view on how.
It's a reflection of reality because they haven't played together.
Yeah. But then perhaps they play less tournaments, or perhaps he wouldn't play as much men's doubles, and so. How old is he now, Seo?
28.
28. So clearly it's a decision based on lots of reasons, but one of them must be that it's hard to continue in 2 events, especially when a lot of people focus on that Olympic title as the main aim.
Yeah, that's the one thing that's, I guess you could say, missing for him, right? He's won everything else, or a lot of things. Nothing like a bit of exuberance to be tampered down with. There we go. I mean, he's won the All England within months of partnering Fenghuang Ho.
Yes, exactly.
I mean, that's just incredible. 2 points in it now, and Mayland puts that away.
Yeah, of course, it was Xiamen Kang that won the World Championship title.
Yeah.
Beating the Danes. It's Xiaamun sailed today.
Correct.
Having lost at the start, I was.
It's off to Maylands. Well, down by 3. Only a point in it now. Interestingly, outside of the European Championships, they haven't had a particularly good... Oh, they won the All England Masters, but it's been tough for them otherwise.
Great net shot from Xiaamun.
15-13.
All England, they were out in the second round. Opening round, German Open and Swiss Open. So maybe the European Championships and All England Masters just giving them that boost that they need, the Danes.
He's a real force to serve to off the top. Terrific return. Put so much pressure on you early in the rally, like immediately.
Snatching at that one.
16-14.
I wonder if they go far in this tournament where they'll have a quick chat with Jonathan. What do you think? Should we get back together? Should we do this?
It'd be nice to understand the full reasonings behind not playing together, but she's also doing pretty well with Lee lately. Cross block from Emily Mayland. Played confidently, both of the female players trying to control that net, and we can't argue against either one at the moment.
Two-point cushion here could be valuable, really valuable for the Koreans.
Yes, ma'am.
This is looking good for the Koreans now. Does well to get there. Oh, he to the net there, Xiaosun.
Amalia?
Seems to be an unfortunate, unforced error from Xiaosun.
If you look at the Korean men's doubles rankings, four top pairs for Korea. Three of them have got Xiaosun. That's why I get a little bit confused. He's played a similar amount of tournaments now with Fenghuang Ho as Kan Min-hyuk, his former partner.
Amazing. He's played as many tournaments, you say?
18.
close. Yeah, we've played 14. It's 7 apiece, or maybe 8-6.
Yeah, because they also played
in the current ranking sort of period, if you like. So it goes back only a certain distance.
Because way back in the day,
he played loads.
Xiao and Kim were together from 2017 to 2019.
And of course he's played a lot more with Kang,
yeah,
over the last 3 years than this system has counted.
Yeah. I love that. So you said the 4 top men's doubles pairings.
Yeah.
All involve Xiao Xunjie.
Kang and Seo, Kim and Seo, and then Kim Ji-jung and Kim Seo-rang are still up there, which is amazing.
Goodness, that's wow.
Because they got that performance and
throwback.
Got into the.
Was that in Korea?
I think they played the All England somehow. And then Xiao Xunjie with John Young played about 4 tournaments.
They won a couple of events as well, didn't they?
Right,
yeah,
right.
Amazing. Well, they've converted their first of their game points, Xiao and Che. And it is advantage Korea, not just them at the moment. That is big for the Koreans for the moment. 21-17 in game 1. Xiao Xunjie and Che Yu-jung.
어제 얘기한 거죠. 드라이브 치고까지 유정이한테 대각으로 가는 드라이브 유정이한테 맞고 그다음에 너 이번 수 무는 거를 네가 컨트롤 드라이브 치고 야야 홈서비스 준비 여자 쪽으로 여자 쪽 한번 있어 나와 홈서비스 한번 넣어봐 서서히 들어오면 안 나가야 보통으로 이 시간 지금 그 남자가 서비스 할 때 우리가 진짜 한 번씩 여자 대각으로 드라이브를 한 번씩 대각으로 이걸 하는 의식을 조금 이렇게 여자는
Hvis vi ikke har træffet til at dække dem derude, jamen, så vil jeg bare gerne have, at du løber igennem. Men jeg synes til gengæld, vi har... Grunden til, at jeg siger det nu, det er ikke fordi, det er kun den ene situation. Det er fordi, jeg håber på at få den igen. Og det er fordi, jeg synes, det der hastighed, den vi snakker om, det skal vi slå noget mere. Okay? Hvis de er så bange for at løfte, så er det bedre, at de får den herned, end de kan komme op og løfte på droppene. Det er ikke de svære at styre. Der er ingen grund til, at vi står og hænger med hovedet. Vi spiller fint, det er godt, at det var fejl, men vi er helt med. Ja.
So a very decent start here for Xiao and Che. Took the first game 21-17. Tofte Mayland were in the hunt for a lot of that. Just pulled away when it mattered.
Yeah, I mean, she slipped there, Mayland. Yeah, I mean, they've got they're a real threat. I've always liked I've always liked how Emily Mayland plays. She's got, I keep saying, a terrific instinct for mixed doubles. Takes that forecourt on and just sort of puts it in the right space, a bit like Seo on the rear of the court for Korea. She's got a great instinct at the forecourt, and of course Jespertov's such a threat, such a big guy.
Yeah,
he's got that steep smash, and he can reach almost anything with one step.
On the flip side of that, Bobby. Such a 2 meters is massive. That also gets awkward for him. There are things you could do to make it difficult, right?
For Toft?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it was only 18 months ago. I was a little bit critical of Jesper Toft in commentary as that, you know, he's actually got good touch, good technique. Physically, he wasn't moving sideways quick enough for me. Not just the fact that he's a big tall frame and he's not an explosive looking player, but also he'd hit a shot from the rear corner and not get back to middle quick enough. Now he's a lot more natural and instinctive with it, so he must have worked hard in training over the last year. So the space used to be deep into the rear corners. course, you're only really going to be effective at playing that if the shot is coming up to you at the net, so then you can go hard into those rear corners. Getting that opportunity is the challenge.
Right.
Oh, good cut out by Jay.
Oh, Jay's done well here.
Amazing. That was all Chae Jun. Take a bow.
Yeah, really impressive.
That's a long way out. Feeling the pressure here. That's unlike the Jesper Tofts return of serve that I've been watching in recent months. Trying to play safe, it was quite passive and still missed the court. Usually they're very aggressive in the return of serve.
It's going quite nicely, isn't it? The Koreans.
They still look together, the Danes. They still look, and I mean that in a psychological, mentally prepared way. Ooh.
Just a little gentle touch there.
Yeah, Chae Jun was sort of shaking, just holding a pace, and Nayland happens to put it exactly where Chae wanted it.
You mentioned
He makes very few mistakes, very few mistakes.
you mentioned our chat with Chris Langridge earlier today, and he was saying two of the most consistent players in the world, Xiao Day and his men's doubles partner Kim Won-ho. In fact, he called Kim Won-ho the most consistent player in the world, he reckoned.
He did, didn't he? Well, let's hope we get to see that men's doubles. Just from a spectator's perspective, a viewer's perspective, it'll be a really great match. And of course it will mean it's 2-2.
Well,
otherwise we won't see it.
No.
So it's then for the tie for a place in the semi-finals.
And in order for that to happen, well, Toft and Nayland will probably need to turn this around now. A game and 4 points down here. Oh, reactions there from Xiao Jie to readjust himself.
Oh,
and have gone out.
That was going out.
Oh.
4-7.
Chae Jun went for it. You mentioned earlier she's with Lee Jong-min. They got to the semi-finals of the All England.
Yeah, the week after they did the same thing at the All
Oh, they
Masters
must,
too.
yeah,
Their first
amazing.
tournament's out.
Incredible.
Other than the men's singles of Korea, they've got so much strength and depth, haven't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it helps you've got An-se-young, of course,
It really does.
in the women's singles.
Who has been perfect this year. When I say perfect,
Yeah, she hasn't lost a match.
she hasn't lost a match this year. That's incredible. Didn't play the Asian Championships. She's had injury bits and bobs, but whatever she's played, she hasn't lost anything. Scary. Scary for Kersfeld. We'll tell you why later on as well. Come back quite nicely here.
A couple of signs that Chae Jun isn't 100% settled. Not listening to Seo earlier and leaving that shuttle go wide and put it in the net, and then she served in the net just then. I'll take it all back.
There you go.
Brilliant return.
9.
Well, up till then, the Danes have won 4 of the last 5 points. After the Koreans have put on a 6-point run.
Thank you.
do not want to let the Koreans run away with this. It becomes so difficult. Lots being said right now by the Danish coaches.
Brilliant. That is magical from Xiamen. Look at this backhand. Both the Danes pushing the nest, expecting the layoff.
Che does well. They need that right now, don't they?
I think it was a winner, even if it hadn't caught the net. Big gap there was. Oh, so was probably getting it covered in the mid-court.
That's good. Pulling things back here.
I thought we might have seen a challenge there. That looked a little bit too close to the line for me. Oh, it's in. Yeah, it's in.
Well, they've gone into the interval with a bigger lead than earlier. 3 points here at Xiao and Che. They've also taken the first game.
They can look easy sometimes, those two.
They do. Looking good for them.
Alright. Og mange af de ting, der bider for os normalt, de gør det bare ikke på samme måde her. De spiller godt. De er ved med at tænke tæt net. Især når vi får de der baller spillet ned til ham, hvor han ligger lidt under. Der vil han gerne have dig til at tage dem ud på siden, på begge sider.
Jeg føler også hunden, når jeg spiller først, så trækker hun den der forbi, jeg skal blive ved med at lade den gå.
Ja, det synes jeg. Skal de have flyver på den? Ja, jeg vil gerne have Jesper helt op. Og hvis du ikke kan det, så prøv bare at komme op og lave en vinkel. Ja, det kunne jeg godt tænke mig. Der er lidt for eneste gang, hvis det ikke, så er det, så står derude. Ja. Det er pisse svært i servesituationen her, ikke?
Look at him. It's just, he's raring to go.
Halfway through that interval, Xiamen was just as if it was warming up before the match started. Bouncing, can't wait to get going. Almost like this is not intense enough for me. I need a little bit more pressure, please.
I know. I'll play another match later on today.
Yeah, it's a bit confident.
3 loans. Obviously talking to Park Chu-bong as well. Great to have him finally be installed as a permanent coach, as it were. He had a very small period, a few months with Korea a long time ago, and he said he couldn't resist the call to come back and coach his country.
That is brilliant. Started off with a defense from the Koreans. Rock solid. Well, even before that in the rally, the hard work was done. Good finish from Che.
I think we are poorer for not seeing them on the world stage anymore, these two, really. It is a joy. Xiao and Che. That's my appeal for them to keep going.
It's a good appeal. Nice to see they are. And of course they spent a lot of their career up against Xiamen and
Yeah.
Which was, and Deshapol and Satsuri were on a really good run of form, so there was a lot of decent mixed players around.
Absolutely.
And they were up against them week in, week out.
They're all cleared now. The deck's cleared for them.
If they came back,
be interesting.
This World Championships could be.
Well, you'd almost kind of want to defend that, wouldn't you? Almost, isn't that tempting?
Putting it out there.
But then you want to also ensure you get at least one of the two. That's out. The lead is now looking ominous, isn't it? 7 points. What do you think, Bobby? Is there coming back from this looking hard, isn't it?
They're just in the zone. They're flowing right now, these two. Even when the Danes think they've got a quality shot in attack, it comes back with pressure. So defensively, the Koreans are great. They've got a calmness. Che's all over the net. Seo's just chilled out of the back and playing all the shots that are making it work. It's just a lovely watch.
What do you want to see a bit more of from the Danes at the moment?
I think they need to keep that confidence up in the first three. After the first sort of 8 to 10 points of the first game, they kind of backed off the return serve. They weren't as aggressive, and perhaps they realised they were paying the price for being too aggressive. But I'm pretty sure. I mean, Seo Seung-jae doesn't really do that. He's not an all-out kind of. Even in men's doubles, I'm going to pressure the serve and look for almost an attacking shot return to serve that, if it comes back, it's an easy kill. You see a lot of that in men's doubles these days. There's so much pressure on serve return and third shot. He doesn't care. He's almost just, and same as his doubles partner in men's. They're just going to play a safe but sort of assertive shot, and they back themselves from that point onwards. They get in the rally.
Completely backing yourself, isn't it? You're not worried about first, second, third.
It looks for me that Jesper Toft is almost trying to match that today, which is not the game, not for him. He's been really aggressive in return of serve for months, and I think that's what's got them to 7 in the world. Keep going.
Why do you think he's retreated from that then?
Because he's playing Seo Seung-jae. It's the only
that's gone to his head, you think?
Absolutely.
Interesting.
I mean, Mayerland needs to be at her very best to compete with Chae Yu-jung, assuming Chae Yu-jung's playing like the Chae Yu-jung we know she can, and she is today. So there's a lot to compete with for Mayerland as well. That's nice, really nice. Patience about the Korean. Whether he's in attack or scrambling in defence, he gets there and just sort of plays the sort of. It's like a robot. It's like a game of calculating. You know when you watch, I don't know, if you watch poker online, and it's like, okay, 64% says if I play this, I'm going to win the rally. That's what it's like. It's like he does the maths in his head on the move and goes, I'll play this shot, it's safer than that one.
And more often than not, he gets it right.
Took on a bit too much there, Chae.
Well, this is about as close as it's been for a while. 5 points the deficit now. The last 8 points. Dates. It's not enough.
She's hit some aggressive shots from the mid and rear court today, Chae. She'll be delighted to see that attack getting through. It's almost the unexpected. It's cheap points for the Koreans, which Denmark simply cannot afford to give away. How to make Badminton look easy. Seo Seung-jae. That is not easy at all.
No.
Every shot was at so much pace, he had to react so quickly.
7 match points for the Koreans here. They have made it look, as Bobby Griffin said, very easy, very comfortable. It's been a magnificent performance from the reigning world champions, who've only just got back together. They haven't played since August of last year. This is their second match since. They've come through beating the world number 7
in the last couple of days, so they've had all that time off. Absolutely brilliant. We've really missed watching them, and straight back to it after all those months, and they look like they've never left. They're in phenomenal form.
Wow, great things to come. Perhaps, well, we'll see them at least for another day here at the Sudirman Cup, maybe.
Well, not just that. I mean, they're up against either Indonesia or Thailand, right, tomorrow in the semis, and that mixed doubles pair, those two nations are on court right now. They're not at this level.
No, totally agree. That's, of course, assuming Korea go on to win. But we said this was the key match, wasn't it, for Korea, to give them the all-important lead now.
Well, no,
if everything goes to form.
You could argue it that way. I'd say it's even more important for Denmark to have won that match.
Right,
Otherwise, their chances of getting
Yeah.
anything out of this are very, very slim. They sort of had to.
Yeah. Agreed.
There's too much pressure in the women's singles and the women's doubles to follow, you know. Yeah.
Seo Seung-jae and Chae Yu-jung from Korea have beaten Denmark's Jesper Toft and Emilie Mælund 21-17, 21-13, just 34 minutes. And that is a huge lead for Korea. Denmark now really under pressure in what we felt was a must-win match for the Danes. Now, big task here for Line Højmark Kjærsfeldt of Denmark. She takes on Korea's world #1, An So-young. That's up next. Some Thai fans here enjoying themselves outside the Fenghuang Gymnasium. Thailand in action at the moment against Indonesia on court 1 here at the TotalEnergies BWF Sudirman Cup Finals 2025. But our attentions are on court 2, where Denmark are trailing Korea after a very straightforward win for Seo Seung-jae and Chae Yu-jung in mixed doubles. Now time for women's singles, second match of this tie. Line Kjærsfeldt playing An So-young. And it's a big, big ask here for the Dane, especially after a very disappointing defeat in her last match, which we'll talk about in a bit. But I mean, just tell us just how good An So-young is at the moment. Probably
average. Oh mate, I mean, come on. World champion, Olympic champion, won a ton of World Tour titles. She's won everything there is to win, really,
except
in badminton.
for this. This is the, I mean, you know what I mean? Everything else. But
yeah, but this is a team event. I mean,
yeah,
as an individual,
yeah,
she might later, if she keeps going, go down in history as the greatest women's singles player the world has ever seen.
Yeah,
she could.
Yeah,
she could. I mean,
you know what's
there's
scary?
a long way to go. I mean,
she's only 23.
Only just 23 as
Correct.
well. You know, it's only recently we've been saying she's turned 23 now.
Yeah.
Most of that was achieved at 22. It's just amazing. Yeah, she's a raw talent. Everything about her game. I mean, in fact, I used to pick a very small technical fault in her technique. I'm not going to go anywhere near that these days because look at what she's won. Is, you know, but it ought to be a comfortable win for the Korean over Kjærsfeldt. In saying that, Kjærsfeldt, now into her 30s, 31 I think now, is in the form of her life. It's helped that Carolina Marin wasn't at the Europeans. It's helped that she didn't have to compete with an injured Mia Blichfeld in the run-up to a few of those things. she has had some dodgy-looking performances as well. She lost to an Azerbaijani player in the mixed team event for Denmark. She lost this week to Wardani. I expected the loss, but not the scoreline.
No. Just having a look at their head-to-head, and An Se-young's won every meeting they've had. 4 of them in total. She's only dropped a game in those 4 matches. So, yeah, it is not going to be easy at all for Lina Kersfeldt. But as you say, this is as good a time as any for her to change all that. The form of her life.
Yeah, I mean, she was slipping outside of the World Top 20 a year or so ago, and I just being honest, I didn't think she'd make it back into the top 20. Now she's at what, 16 or 17? I think we'll see it on screen in a minute.
Yeah, number 16.
And that's brilliant for her. Massive congratulations, and to take the European title recently in Horsens, Denmark, on home soil was a really magical moment.
Yeah, that's her highest ever ranking. She actually achieved that back in 2019 as well. She's got, well, that's her result. The one that really stands out is losing to, well, beating PV Sindhu, who's not in the greatest form at the moment, but Wardani hammering her.
Yeah, if we go back 2 years, that PV Sindhu result wouldn't have happened, but also, awkward opponent for her, Wardani. Very skillful, good mover, and that is not great for Kersfeldt, and we're looking at a similar list of assets today. And some.
And then some, correct. As you said, just turned 23 not too long ago, from the south of Korea. Gwangju, the world #1, the reigning Olympic and world champion. She's also the reigning Asian Games champion. Look at that. It's been pretty straightforward overall, you'd have to say. And 27
World Tour titles.
World Tour titles. Yeah. Not anyone comes anywhere close. Just as a comparison, Lina Kersfeldt is...
There are, not in women's singles recently, but
no.
You know, women's doubles,
Doubles,
for example,
yeah. But in terms of singles, yeah. Yeah, just to... Lina Kersfeldt has been to 7 HSBC BWF World Tour title finals and not won a single one. So that's something, a monkey she wants to get off her back this year, I'm sure.
Kersfeldt?
Yeah.
World Tour finals?
No, finals of any World Tour event.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, she still hasn't won a World Tour event. She's come runner-up. I'm just remembering stats from my last commentary on her.
Yeah.
I think she's come runner-up 5 or 6 times, 7 times.
Yeah. Swiss Open, the most recent one.
Yeah, lost to Chen Yufei. I was there. Chen Yufei beat Wang Zhiyi in the quarters that week, and it was a very strange affair because Chen Yufei had been off for so long since that break she took after the Olympics, and was not in best form.
Liu Yun of China, service judge. Sidney Garlos of New Zealand is the service judge, is the umpire. Kersfeldt this year, apart from the European Championships she won, she got the final of the Swiss Open, second round of the Thailand Masters, and first round exits at the All England and German Open,
Denmark,
and All Masters. An Se-young has won every tournament she has played in.
Represented by An Se-young.
That's the All England, Malaysia and India Opens, as well as the All Masters.
Her ratio of winning a final that she reaches as well is amazing. 27 titles, only 9 times runners-up. I'm going to say only 9, meaning that when she gets to the final, she wins it.
She generally wins it, correct.
It's 3 times as many wins as second place.
Yeah, look at that, right in the corner.
1 love.
Yeah, 75%, I think, conversion rate.
She has dropped just 3 games all year.
Some of those games she has dropped, though. I mean, I can't really speak for this year. I haven't thought about that, but I've seen her drop. I remember watching her in the World Tour finals, and she dropped a game to, might have been Catatong. or it might have been Fenghuang, I can't remember. But there was a bit of controversy going on with the Korean team and the whole if she was going to go independent thing.
Yes,
and
yes, correct.
Difficulty with the coaches and stuff. And controversially, she wasn't allowed to warm up.
3.
The team had a court, but she wasn't allowed to use it. It was interesting.
That's why things have changed now, and you've got Park Ju-bong, and
yeah.
she's in a much happier space, isn't she?
So I was going to say one of those games that she lost is because she just walked around the court and used it as the warm-up.
Right.
And then came out and beat her comfortably in 2 after that. Oh, bad luck, Kerstal.
Yeah.
That would have caused her some problems.
Great start, Xiaamun. By the way, one of those 3 games she's lost in 2025, someone we know, Kirsty Gilmore, at the All England.
Yeah, that's right. That was that match has lasted in the memory as well for other reasons for Kirsty. I'm not going to go into it today.
Just out. First point on the board for Kersfeld.
Yeah.
Service over. 1-4.
This is as smooth as I've seen Kersfeld move around the badminton court in 10 years. She's really sort of settled into a rhythm with her movement on court. It used to be a little erratic, one too many steps here and there. She used to split too early. She still gets beat by the drop shot from too many players for me. If I'm going to be super critical, her weight's in her heels when it should be in the front of her feet when she goes into the split after she lifts. But we are getting a bit technical here. But in terms of fluidity of movement, it's easily the best I've seen, and credit to Kersfeld for that, because changing something like that, something so fundamental, is hard. You play badminton as a full-time player, like Kersfeld is, for years and years, to then change something like that is quite impressive. No such requirements for Xiaamun. She's just Mrs. Smooth.
Over. 2-6.
That's Miss Kerr on the left there with the hats, and all of them with the I don't know what you call them. What do you call those inflatable things that they band together and make noise?
Flappers, something like that? Yeah, not a fan myself.
Better than vuvuzelas.
Yeah, which there are a few vuvuzela type things in here as well.
I thought you were going to say she was on court for Czechia earlier this week.
Service over.
Behave.
7-2.
Very good so far for Xiaamun. Nice lead for her, looking every bit the world #1 at the moment.
She's looking very focused though, Kersfeld. I like what I'm seeing. I know she's behind on the scoreboard, but there's an intensity there, there's a strategy, and it's creative and brave, and you can't fault that against somebody like Xiaamun. Brilliant. That is excellent from the Dane. Had Xiaamun on the back foot the entire rally. And maintain the pressure all the way to the end. She's known for a fairly slow start though, Xiaamun as well. I know she's 8-3 up, but in terms of maximum physical effort, you can often see the first half of game 1 being a little bit a gear lower than perhaps she might finish the match. And what about that All England final as well against is it Wang Jiyi? Xiamen, best women's singles match or performance I've seen easily all year.
That is worth a shout. I actually initially thought that went in. That might have just stayed in, held up. But Bobby, I know, doesn't like those kind of challenges.
That was close though, that one.
It was close, wasn't it?
It's when your opponent leaves it, so there's already a vote for it to go out. That's before it even goes out.
Yeah, true.
And then the line judge calls it out, and it's a high clear that's going to land soft on the back line. The line judge has got plenty of time to decide if it's in or out. It's not like one of those flat drives or smashes that skiffs through the court. So most of the time, the players get these wrong.
I thought that was definitely worth a shout.
Hawkeye's definitely taking a good think about it.
Oh, there you go. It's so close.
Challenge.
That's why she felt.
One challenge remaining.
She is still unsuccessful.
10-3. Light.
Big lead here already for Xiaamun. Oh. That's not something you see too often.
4-10.
Wow. Very unlike her. Oof, that one stayed in. 2 valuable points for Kersfeld.
From this view, that did look as close as the Montfort, didn't it? It must have been millimetres in it. Oh. Right on the back of the back line, no challenge.
Lena.
Could have been out, wow.
That's the first time she's had consecutive points. Kersfeld, give a bit of confidence.
Thank you.
She's played 44 top 5 players in her career, and only twice has she won against Carolina Marin and Chen Yufei.
5-10.
2020 and 2022. So it's a pretty decent lead that Xiaamun has. 6 points in this first game. 11-5 to Xiaamun at the break.
Det er klart, at vi laver nogle løftfejl og nogle clearfejl. Så kommer den der. Det er bare rigtig vigtigt, at du forstår, at hun ligger og lokker dig til dem her. Hun spiller med vilje en meter for kort, for at du klapper den ud over. Hun lægger den over din forhånd lidt halvhøjt og håber på, at du klasker den lige ud. Det er det, hun ligger og håber på. Du slår det stille og roligt ned i den baghånd og håber på, at du dobbelt løfter op i her. Ikke? Så hele tiden du bliver nødt til at være skarp på at ikke gå i de fælder. Især når bolden er ny.
20 seconds.
Her på forhånd.
Court 2. 20 seconds. 11-5. Light.
What about that for a shot? What a young.
12-5.
So deceptive as well. Look how low she took it.
Thank you.
What a shot. There isn't really an area of the game where Kersfeld has the advantage. That's the thing. If An Se-young comes out and just gives it at least a 90% effort, doesn't need to be her very best,
Yeah.
then there's no threat almost. Kersfeld will have to hit lines with the smash or hit the body so she gets a really weak reply to then have... Oh, and again, that is brilliant.
30.
Quality of that shot.
Next shot was quite tight. She just brushed it off with a slight double action.
It would have been quite something to have had, like say, Tai Tzu-Ying in her absolute prime, playing in An Se-young now. It's something I think would be quite interesting to have seen.
I think we kind of did see it
A
enough.
bit.
Do you know the head-to-head record between those two?
I think it's 14 something, isn't it?
It's massive
Yeah.
in favour of An Se-young.
Yeah, I know.
But you're saying because An Se-young's now in her prime and Tai Tzu-Ying was past it when they had a lot of their meetings. Is that what?
Yeah, and I don't really want to use that phrase, but yes,
6.
effectively.
13.
I think we can.
Yeah.
We're only being honest. I mean,
Yeah.
but An Se-young won 12 out of their 15 meetings. That's a
Correct.
against a top 3 player in the world.
Yeah.
That is massive. Do you know the two players that have a better head-to-head against An Se-young
Actually,
that are still playing?
actually,
So, for example,
is it Akane one of them?
Sung Ji-hyun was the career #1 when An Se-young was a junior.
Yeah.
And so, you know, when An Se-young's 13 against a
Service
player in
over.
their prime,
14.
it's fair enough to say
Yeah.
that the head-to-head doesn't really count. Even then, it was only +1 to Sung. But no, go on.
I was going to say Akane.
Yamaguchi's won. Yep.
Yeah.
Yamaguchi, 26 meetings. 12 wins for An Se-young, 14 for Kaneguchi. So it's pretty close.
Yeah. But that's going to shift.
52%, 48%.
Again, a lot that might have been before she's hit her prime in the last couple of years, I would think.
Yeah, if they met.
They
Still
still
3 in the
be,
world.
yeah.
Or has been recently. She's still there.
I'd say the other one is what, Chen Yufei?
Yeah. Yeah, and again, 23 meetings,
Service
11-12 for head-to-head.
7.
So that is a
15.
rivalry that's going to go on and
Yeah,
on.
exactly.
Lina. When you ask for a towel,
I'm not sure right now, having an argument with the umpire about
7.
towels is really
15.
where Kersfeld wants to be. Trailing by 8 here against An Se-young. It's an unnecessary distraction.
Brilliant shot. Just to say, I'm not letting this go.
Service over.
The rankings
60.
thing and the
7.
head-to-heads, the performances against other players in the world. Tungjung, right? Top 5 in the
Right,
world now,
right.
ranked 5, and pretty much in her peak. I think she's only a year or two older than An Se-young. She's 25,
Yeah.
24, 25. Have a guess at the head-to-head.
With her and I don't think she's ever beaten
Thank you.
An Se-young.
Exactly.
7, 6, 7?
10.
10!
Double figures.
That's a top 5 player.
Top 5 player
Against-
in her prime.
Wow.
Probably not players are not even in their prime yet, but
Unfortunately for Tunjung, she's got to her peak now, when An Se-young's been at her peak as well, right?
An Se-young's peak though is going to last from 19 years old through to hopefully
17.
32 years old if we're lucky.
But it was really sort of 23 onwards. I remember that year she just was winning, or she was in the final or semis of every tournament barring one, I think.
That's one of the reasons. She's the best women's singles defence in the world.
7.
Just, you think you've got her.
Yeah.
She just dives. She just literally takes a step and launches her whole body and gets up. There was some pretty ridiculous commentary once on a An Se-young match.
Clearly not us.
Was it An Se-young match? I was about to talk about the Uber Cup that you and I did.
Ah.
That wasn't An Se-young, was it? It was a teammate, Kim Gaeun.
That was in the last match. Kim Gaeun, yeah.
Semi-finals against Japan.
19-7.
12-point lead An Se-young now enjoys against Kersfeld. That's another heavy loss, it would appear. In consecutive games, in 3 games now, she's been in single figures.
20.
Just to sort of highlight the class of what we're seeing here, Kersfeld's having a good game. That's the thing. She's not been terrible. She's not making loads of mistakes. An Se-young neither is playing out of her skin. She's not playing amazing. There's been a few points, yes, where it's been very special. It's that 80% in the middle where the rallies, there's just that little bit better pressure, a little bit better shot quality, a little bit better footwork, and it's all on show here from An Se-young. Those shots where An Se-young ends up having to clear it out and Kersfeld then just misses the court by an inch or so. That's been that disaster. The shot was behind her. Yes, it was a poor shot.
First game won by Korea.
But it's not terrible from Kersfeld. You could argue she was under pressure here, very late in that back corner. Yeah, she should have done better there, to be fair. But it's not been amazing from An Se-young, and yet single-figure scoreline.
You said she only has to be at 90. Probably not even that.
Yeah. This is her at 90, and the score is 8. She could probably be at 75, and she still wins 15. You know what I mean? Not many players in the world could go out there at 75% and win against the top 16 player in the world.
21-8, first game to An Se-young.
Ikke kommer til at vinde. Og lige have en positiv besked på at sige, okay, ja, der var en hurtig bold her, og den er der nogen virkelig er skarpe på at registrere, når den er hurtig bold. Så må vi give den noget mindre. Men også være klar på, at de vækster lidt her, hvis du også spiller dueller, hvor du sagtens skal trykke til dem. Right? Vi snakker om det der med at få de der sådan lidt korte løft her. Så mene det, når vi går på dem. Ligesom her til sidst. Jeg tøver,
spiller med håndbremsen trukket.
Ja, men vi laver flere fejl af den årsag, ikke? Så når du får de der halve chancer, 1,5 meter på, gå nu på dem og få lige kroppen med.
20 seconds. Okay? 4, 2, 20 seconds. Second game. Level. Light.
It's a fine start for An Se-young, who started. Probably that's 3 games in a row now that Kersfeld has lost in single figures. It's got to be a bit of a dent there to the confidence after it's been a good few months for her.
Yeah.
But there are, it's a world number 11, a world number 1.
There's again, I don't want to say this without sounding too cruel. It would be unfair to a player that's, coming towards the end of her career and had a glittering career, really, in terms of a European singles player. We're all very proud of Lena Kersfeld. She's been fantastic. But there is a ceiling to what she can achieve.
Right.
And when you play against somebody like An Se-young, Putri Kusuma-Wardani, or a Gregoria Tunjung, their style does not help showcase the abilities of Kersfeld. As politely as I can put it, I think.
Fair.
To be vicious, it highlights the ability, or it highlights the requirement for being able to move really well, which Kerstal has never. It's never been the best part of her game. Saying that, and like I said earlier on in the match, this is pretty much the best I've seen Kerstal move.
Right.
It's fluid, it's smooth.
She did well to even get to where she was.
That was a good cross net.
Great cross net.
What a pickup off the floor almost. There's punch clear, effortless.
3, 2.
And that wasn't Kerstal leaving that. And if it was, I'd be disappointed in her ability to judge the court. She was just beaten there.
So that brief lead, the first time that she'd been in front, Kerstal doesn't last for very long.
Deceptive, but long.
Now, look, now that we're in singles,
3.
we always sort of start looking at conditions and the ends and stuff like that, Bobby. And throughout our time, the last few days, it's been this nearer end has been preferred, isn't it? Generally.
Yeah, I think, assuming it is fairly similar today as it has been the last few days, and it looks like it is. I think there seems to be a little bit less drift in here today than the opening couple of days.
4,
but
3.
Han Se-young playing with the slight drift, so her lifts and clears are going to go long, and we've seen a couple already in this game where she's gone a little bit long. She is one of the best in the world, however, for adjusting on the fly, so to speak, at different arenas around the world to the drift conditions and adjusting during the match to them. We've seen matches.
Oh, it holds up again.
There you go, perfect. So we're 4 points. Well, she's made 4 points now.
5,
is it?
3.
3 of those have been.
And 2 of those she went long. And now it's not easy when you're playing with the drift. That's going to give your clears and lifts a bit more power to adjust. That's the hardest part of adjusting to drift. It's much easier to play into the drift than it is to play with it for most singles players. But that was inch perfect, wasn't it?
So
Denmark
it
challenge.
is going to be challenged.
Ball out.
Seemingly with the drift, she's doing all right here, Han Se-young, and Kerstal looks like she's gone long, but we will see.
Yeah, that's what I mean about there being a little bit less drift in here today.
Yeah.
Usually you can kind of give that flat, aggressive lift as much as you've got almost. But that's out by quite a long way.
Wow.
How many
Challenge
all week have we
unsuccessful.
seen long on the back line from where we're
1
sat?
challenge
Very
remaining.
few.
Very few.
Loads this end.
6, 3.
And we've been hearing the coaches say that, right? Now you're on this end, careful, watch out, attack, depending on where they are. And yeah, you're right.
That first movement from Han Se-young off base.
The hold was excellent.
What a shot. Exquisite from the Korean.
3.
Watch this. Kerstal moving towards the net.
Brilliant. Just brilliant.
I was saying that first explosive movement. It's so fast, lightning fast, and it's a very small movement. It's just the get to base, and almost at the same time, both feet just split and move, and it makes her look like she's in cruise control. Makes it look like she's got loads of time.
So just tell you that Han Se-young, throughout her career, that's more than 300 matches where she's won the first game. She wins 85% of her matches after taking the first game. And
9, 3.
Overall, she wins in 2 games 87% of the time. So one is winning the first game, then you might win it in 3.
Yeah, I see.
And the other one is 87% of the time she wins in 2 games.
That's an unbelievable record. Oh. Great shot.
Oh, that is right in the corner.
Kersfeld gets some revenge. That was lovely.
4, 9.
It wasn't just the depth, it was the slight hold, the deception.
The most informed players of 2025, by the way. Well, that now
Korea challenge.
it's going to be challenged.
Out.
Kim Won-ho and Seo Seung-jae and An Se-young in World Badminton at the moment. In terms of wins this year alone. Oh, that's how powerful Korea can be, right?
Oh, perfect.
Oh.
Correction. In.
Yeah, there's almost an emotional argument without knowing the stats you've just given me. If I was a women's singles player, it's easy to say that one player I don't want to play against is An Se-young, and yes, everyone would agree with that. If I was a men's doubles player these days, I would not want to play against Kim and Seo more than anybody else right now. And that also highlights the, not vulnerability, but the sort of thin spread of good players that can win events. There's loads of them these days. There's no one dominant pair in men's doubles. That's what I was talking about earlier, that 80% of badminton where it's just sort of bit of movement, bit of speed, bit of shot quality, bit of consistency, a bit of everything. That's the bit that's winning this match so comfortably. It's nice to watch the trick shots and the smashes hit the floor, but Kersfeldt's getting beat because An Se-young's badminton generally, all round in every area, just a little bit better.
Absolutely. 11-4 at the interval of the second game, and she won the first. 21-8.
Så for det bliver sådan en stille og rolig clear. Sæt noget mere fart i det slag, så der bliver pres i det slag. Okay? Godt. Hele tiden klar igen til nye duel. Ind og være offensiv på serven.
20 seconds. 4, 2, 20 seconds. Light.
Terrific defense from An Se-young. Kersfeldt so frustrated she didn't finish that round off.
To your point earlier, Bobby, Kersfeldt would have to play at 120%, and An Se-young not hit anywhere close to her heights, really, to make this a contest, right? She has to play about as good as she's ever played, Kersfeldt, and have An Se-young not have such a great day and then hope. And that, I think, would apply to many players, most players going up against An Se-young.
Yeah, I mean, that's the reason why, though. I mean, look at that.
Good, how good.
The court covered in sweat. That's gone wrong. What a shame.
Service over.
Yeah, that's the reason why as well. I mean, that defense, incredible. I mean, look, you can't play at 120%.
No.
You know, she can play as the best she's ever played and match that.
I'm
level.
exaggerating.
Yeah.
For effect,
but Lena, yeah, I guess that's true. Lena Kersfeldt's best. An Se-young needs to drop down to 80% or so to make it an even fight.
You have to play out of skin and hope that she's not having the best day.
Yeah, and we've seen that happen. We've seen An Se-young come out and have a slow start quite often, in fact. I don't know how we'd get this sort of stat, but...
5,
Go on then.
12.
I'm going to test you now.
What's the lowest rank?
So she wins in 2 a lot, right?
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see how close. This is a silly question. Interested to see how close the score is at the first interval.
Okay.
So they're halfway through the first game.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is there's a good chance it's around 11-10 or even Nancy Young's close or even a few points down.
Yeah.
It's close. But by the time we get to the end of the second, Nancy Young's flown away.
Blown away.
So that's what I'm saying. The start is not the same as the finish. France.
Correct. Though this match is not following that pattern at the moment.
Oh, we don't know. Might finish 21-5.
Yeah, true.
Might. It won't, but it might. Yeah, nice. See, that's Kersgaard having to give everything physically, moving as fast as she can, and also hit the lines. She was accurate earlier in the rally with the drops, the lifts, and that was going to land on the line.
Service over. 14-6.
No, just obviously not wanting to discount that this tie is still going on, but Korea playing the winner of Indonesia and Thailand coming up next.
50.
I mean, a lot of people thinking Indonesia might be a bit vulnerable, and Korea, China will be a repeat of the last Sudirman Cup 2023 in Suzhou. The final.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a fascinating matchup. Of course, the men's singles again will be. Oh, that's a great shot.
Service over. 7-15.
These are coming few and far between, but you'll take them.
Yeah, China have definitely had a pretty good draw there. I'd rather play. I mean, it was so close between Japan and Malaysia in yesterday's match.
Yeah.
Malaysia had a match point in the men's doubles to win the tie. Lost it, and then ended up losing the tie. So Japan won the group. Malaysia came second. China, group winners, then play Malaysia in the quarters. And it was the quickest match. It was like one of the group stage matches with, you know, a very lesser ranked team.
Yeah.
It took sort of 20-30 minutes per match this morning.
And yet, Chris, if you recall,
17. 7.
It was 2023 that they had 4 match points, Hoki and Kobayashi, against Liu Chen and Oshwani, and couldn't convert to knock out China.
That's right.
In the semis, I think it was.
Yeah, Liu Chen is a different beast. When he gets going, he's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Park Ju-bong actually talked about it this week in the build-up to the Sudirman Cup. He said he hasn't forgotten that.
I actually think, although as Sao Sanjay, on his day, Liu Chen is arguably the best player in the world in doubles, like men's doubles. But he hasn't got the right partner. They've never found the right partner for him.
90.
Whatever, I don't think. Not really, you know. Very talented, very powerful, intimidating character. He's a big guy, and he's going now.
13 match points.
20 match points.
See, I said it might improve on the first. She needs this one though, of course. Wow, just wow. What a performance.
Oh.
Just brilliant from An Se-young.
Punch there, and it's been an excellent performance from An Se-young. Really nothing to pick out of that. Brilliant. An Se-young. Yeah. And it's good to see that spunkiness in again after what's been a tough few months following the Olympics.
You could argue that she doesn't need to be out giving it everything in a team event. It's not about her, it's about the team.
Correct.
I love that it is. She wants to be here for the team. And just a brilliant performance. Didn't need to sparkle, but at times it did. It was just more than enough to get through against Lina Kersgaard today.
Absolutely, that's 5 out of 5 now for An Se-young.
It's also 2 days in a row where Lina Kersfeldt has lost both games against Wardani and An Se-young in single figures.
Absolutely. It's been a tough one here. An Se-young of Korea beats Denmark's Lina Kersfeldt 21-8, 21-7 in just 35 minutes. And Korea are now 2 up. They need just one more win from the remaining 3 matches. But tough in this one. Men's singles is next. Anders Antonsen of Denmark will take on Jeon Hyuk-jin of Korea. Chance here for Denmark to pull one back. That fantastic Fenghuang Gymnasium on the right hand side, you can see it's also used as a big projector screen. It's quite the sight really when you're outside it looking in. For those of us inside at the moment, we are enjoying a masterclass from Korea. Seo Seung-jae, Chae Yu-jung and An Se-young now have had very, very good wins, but that could all change. In fact, the odds are very much in favour of Denmark in this 3rd match to pull one back in the tie, because it's time for men's singles. Win it, it will be 2-1. There are 2 competitors going to their final paces before they walk out into the arena. Anders Antonsen will have seen what's been happening with his compatriot Lina Kersfeldt. Maybe Jeon Hyuk-jin can take some inspiration from that performance from An Se-young. And like what we just saw, this one is certainly very much in favour of the man in front here, in focus. And he knows a lot now rests on his shoulders, no pressure then for Anders Antonsen as he takes on Jeon Hyuk-jin of Korea. And it's just basically this a similar story, but the other way around now, Chris. Excuse me, Bobby, in the men's singles.
Yeah, it is. It does have that little bit of pressure to Anders Antonsen here. I think Jeon Hyuk-jin will be really buoyed by the fact that his teammates have done the business and done it in style in the first 2 matches in the tie, because he can go out there and say, look, I'm going to make this awkward for you. You know, you've got to win this. Denmark are out if you don't win this. It's more like Korea aren't going to beat Denmark in this match. It's more like Denmark could lose the match. You know, there's a difference between winning it and not losing it. That make any sense at all? Probably not.
Well, you're right. I mean, it all comes. If John pulls out the bag, and we're going to show you in a bit that he has done it before, it's all done.
Yeah.
So there's massive pressure here for Antonsen to keep the tie alive.
Massive pressure. I mean, everything's in his favour on paper.
Yeah.
But that's the beauty of sport,
Anders,
isn't it?
you want
Things
red
happen,
or
amazing,
black?
exciting things happen.
Red.
Fenghuang winning yesterday for Indonesia against
Correct.
Anderson
Black.
was an amazing performance.
Side.
So 3 times they played. Twice Anderson has won, most recently the Korea Open in 2023. But John Hook Jin has beaten him at the Thomas Cup in 2022. What a result that was.
We'll have to analyse, though, what state Anders Anderson was in at the time, because he has had little periods where injuries and stuff, his lower back and things, and perhaps it was at the back end of a tough period for him, or he came back too soon. So yeah, it might just be an awkward style.
Anders Anderson then up first, a man who was second at the World Champs in 2019, third twice in 21 and 23. Former European champion as well, 28 years of age, 186. Currently third in the world. He has been as high as number 2. That was in September of 2022. So he beat Pranoy. That's a good result, but the one there that really stands out, Alwi Farhan, the youngster from Indonesia, beating him in 3. That certainly got the headlines in Indonesia.
Terrific player, Alwi Farhan. I've been a big fan for a couple of years now. Ubadillah, who's coming through, youngster, 17-year-old from Indonesia too. Will be a big name on the World Tour in years to come.
John Hook Jin is now 29. Comes from Ulsan. He's at 42 in the world. He has been higher at 17. That was some 7 years ago now. He has beaten Victor Lai. That's the only match he has played so far of Canada. They preferred Cho Kyun Hyop, and maybe that was more tactical, saving him for this.
I think he
particular
lost
match.
to Victor Lai, did he not? Could be wrong.
No, that could be right. He's got 1 title to his name on the HSBC BWF World Tour.
Yeah, I think Victor Lai beat him in 2, actually. Yeah.
Thank you.
Ready to play?
That was the only win I think they had.
Yes,
Canada.
that's right.
So that doesn't bode well for him necessarily.
I think they've lost 3 games in 3 matches this week, Korea, and they've all been
men's
men's singles, unfortunately. That's just the state of men's singles in Korea at the moment. On the flip side, they've got an absolutely dominant force in women's singles and some pretty terrific doubles all round.
Yeah. Andrea Chiappini of Italy.
All blue eyes.
And their umpire? Service judge Dutton of India. Fine service judges. So Anders Anderson knows nothing else than a win will do. He's up against a man who has beaten him before, and he will draw upon that, or he needs to call upon that kind of performance today.
Ladies
John
and
Hook Jin.
gentlemen, on my right, Denmark, represented by Anders Andersen.
What was he talking about there? He didn't look particularly pleased about something.
Korea,
Well, they had a practice serve each,
represented
and
by
he was
John
asking for the shot to be
Hook Jin.
changed. Just a sign of things to come from Anders Anderson when it gets a bit tough. We talk about sportsmanship. This guy is an absolute professional. Anders Anderson.
Loves to push the boundaries.
He does.
Korea to serve, level.
Always entertaining, one way or the other, when he's on court.
Yeah, whether you're delighted with what you're watching or infuriated by it, you know, I argue it's still entertainment. And of course, let's not forget he is easily one of Europe's best singles players and best in the world in terms of consistency as well for a couple of years now. It's been up there.
Oh,
And on his day, that was brilliant cross block from John. On his day, Anderson can beat anyone. He can.
yeah, absolutely. And you know, people often, I forgot it earlier today, before you and I started, 23 shots at opening point, that he now outranks the man that people often would think is the highest ranked Danish player, and that's Victor Axelsen. This was well pointed out to me earlier. But yeah, let's not forget that. He's injured as
Yeah,
well.
he's had his injuries, and Those injuries came off the back of a couple of weaker performances, and all of that sort of accumulates to a dropping in the rankings. And he's a little bit older, of course, and it'd be a surprise for his career to take another sort of massive uphill.
Yeah.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is to win the next Olympics after winning the last two would be quite
a feat. Yeah.
You know, it would be an incredible performance in somebody's career. These days, looking at the level of badminton and who's going through men's singles, physically, I don't think it can be done.
Lin Dan was in his 30s, right, when he got his last gold, if I'm not mistaken. 30 plus?
Well, he got a ton of World Championship titles. How many Olympic titles did he win?
2 or 3, Lin Dan?
To check that, I don't think it was that many.
No, maybe I might be wrong.
3, 1.
A very decent start here for...
Yeah, 2, you're right, 2. To fend off Lee Chongwei for all that as well. But to get, that's what I mean, Axis has got 2. To get 3, if Lin Dan didn't get 3...
Yeah, it was 28, so it wasn't... It was about the age of Anderton when he got a second goal. Yeah.
2, 3.
Score level here. Just out.
4, 3.
Nobody in badminton has won 3 gold medals at the Olympics. There's been other medals, like Gao Ling won 2 golds, a silver and a bronze. But nobody's got the 3. Oh, gambled on the block, good defence. We're absolutely certain that was going to be a winner, but John just had to go 50-50, guess left, and got to it. But
done there by John. Working hard, he's done well. Pushing his opponent, pushing him around.
5, 4.
Been encouraging for John Hyuk-jin these first few points.
he's working really hard. John Hyuk-jin and getting the reward as well. I mean, the score is only 5-4, but the way he's playing, putting Anders under a lot of pressure.
4.
Didn't expect that really.
Are we talking similar, kind of how we were conversing earlier about Kersfeld and so what you'd need from a John to play out of his skin today? Hoping Anders isn't quite at his best. Is that what we're talking about again?
He's showing all the qualities of being aggressive here, and if he can get that shot quality right as well as keeping that intensity up like he's just done, then he's got every chance.
4.
Wouldn't it be amazing for Korea to take a men's singles, given the lineup they've got, and do it in the quarters to put Denmark out?
Yeah. Excellent.
4, 8.
Making things easy for Antonsen right now.
It's been a tough period in badminton history for Denmark, really. In world standards, haven't medalled here at the Sudirman Cup for 12 years.
Yeah. 7 straight quarterfinals. Oh, he thought about it anyways. Oh, just as well that he didn't.
Well, he sort of did. I think he took a swipe at this, but it's on.
Oh, did he ever swipe? So he walked away. He didn't realise, Jeon Hyuk Jin. He didn't hear that until he heard service over.
5, 7.
I think Antonsen at the very last moment thought this was going to land in and tried to hit it and missed. That's what I think happened. Because he missed, he got lucky because it landed out.
And John walked away, not looking anywhere, thinking that was in. Then he turned round and then he asked, but he didn't really look too fussed about that.
Warmer inside the arena today as well, doesn't it? So that's going to affect the conditions of play.
It is warmer, you're right. Probably the warmest I've felt, actually.
Yeah.
Over the last few days. Not even that full. That's gone long. Got that little bit of drift behind him, perhaps. Antonsen. It's not like he's had a fantastic season, Jeon Hyuk Jin. He got to the quarters of the Thailand Masters, that's his Super 300. Out in the second round of the Indonesian and Orleans Masters. First round of the Asian Championships and the German Open. Antonsen is final of Malaysia Open. Not such a great time in the European Championships, All England Swiss Open. Got to the second round there now, in the first round of the Indonesia Masters. So since Malaysia, it's kind of been a bit downhill for him since then.
Good ride from
Silva.
Antonsen.
7, 8.
Didn't play the European Championships.
No, that's right. They, well, he was in the draw for round 1 and pulled out. Antonsen already wasn't there. And Rasmus Gemke got injured in the quarters, I think it was, so all of Denmark's hopes were gone. First time since its inception, Denmark haven't medalled in singles at the Europeans.
Wow.
Something like 57 years or so, 60 years.
It's kind of a freak sequence of events that caused that.
Especially as they had the world's, you know, 2 of the top 3 players in the world.
Yeah.
For Denmark.
10.
Listen, this has been very good from Jeon Hyuk Jin. He may not want this interval right now. He's on a bit of a roll here. He's pretty much led throughout this opening stanza.
Oh, Antonsen trying the tricky stuff, and again, 2 nets in a row. That is some confidence from Anders Antonsen. He is not bothered by being a few points behind on the scoreboard.
level off here for Antonsen.
Thank you. John. 8-10.
Did really well there, Antonsen.
Yes.
Oh. Go on, get the point now.
He did, but in the previous shot, he kind of fell straight into John's trap. So whilst he did do well in defence, he kind of made a bit of a misjudgment in the previous. That was a great finish, though.
So that's the interval. John Hook Jin, the lower ranked player, has a lead, just 2 points, but it's been a decent start for him. 11-9 in the opening game.
For 20 seconds. For 20 seconds. Anders. Anders. Shut.
See how well he bounced back after that defeat yesterday.
It's a chasing defeat against the youngster. I know he's a fantastic player with Farhan. That would have hurt.
Thank you, Anders.
To Ali Farhan, so he's looking to bounce back here. Training for Jin. Very much in the hunt though.
John could have taken a bit more initiative there, I think. That final shot he made was, yes, he's moving backwards, but there was no need to just sky it to the ceiling with the clear. The initial response from Anderson was enough, that big cross match winner. Needs to be. Coach coaches seem happy.
First time that Antonsen has gone in front here in this game. He's acquitted himself pretty decently up till now, hasn't he, John Hookjin?
Yeah, he really has. The losses he's suffered, he's played twice, hasn't he? Been beaten in both.
Shoulder's been preferred.
Yeah, perhaps that's why. I mean, they're without a clear-cut threat to titles in the men's singles career. And it's been a while, isn't it? Since they've had a real... I mean, I still remember the good old Lee Janil days. He was a terrific player. Must be 40 or 45 years old now, something like that.
Yeah, he's John Hookjin's played 11 top 5 players in his career, beaten 2 of them. French Open 2017, he defeated Shou Tianchen, who was world number 5 then, and then of course Anders Andersen. Thomas Cup, when he was world number 3. Taken Axelsen to 3 games before. Again, that was a long time ago. 2016. He's taken Shiyu Chi to 3 as well in the Thomas Cup last year.
Yeah, it's been 8 years now since Son Won-ho was getting medals at World Championships and taking Super Series titles, that kind of thing.
We have challenges for him.
I think that was fair challenge, fair shout.
Pressure on this end of the first game.
Wow. I understand why he asked for that.
One challenge remaining. 15, 13. Ready.
Clever shot going over the top there.
Did well to get it back.
Yeah, matched by that defence. And what brilliant rally. That's the best play we've seen.
Yeah, absolutely.
From both players as well, they were terrific.
Either one of them could have won this. Had to be only one. Andersen comes out on top. Thought he might have won it earlier in the piece. John?
Thank you, Rajat.
Up to 3 points that lead. That was the longest run at 37 shots.
And getting a bit more aggressive on attack, isn't he?
He is. Kind of missing that from earlier.
Yeah. He was hitting slower shots into the court from the rear, and then that was encouraging the net exchanges. It's a lot easier to sort of play topspin net and stuff. Flatter shots, taking the net out of the game to a certain extent.
That was important for John. That point keeping in punts within striking distance. Well, he did so well to even get there. Anders Andersson. John finishes it off.
Second half of this match is so much more exciting. That's lovely. High risk shot, this one.
Yeah. Scrambling around. Anders Andersson. Andersson told to keep going.
You don't mess with Mr. Xiamen.
He'll be very used to this sort of thing.
Just tried to stick his racket up in the way there to stop the flat lift. Almost got away with it too.
Just out. He is going to challenge that. Interesting choice.
We saw one earlier actually, it was very close. I can understand the challenge.
Yeah.
That was pretty close.
Yeah, it is. As is this game so far. John Hyuk-jin has actually led for the majority of this game. He's hoping he can be score level here.
If he wins this point, it could get a little bit tense for Anderson.
Yeah.
Fist pump.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a puff of the cheeks from Xiamen, but Antonsen staring at his team with that fist raised.
2 points here for Antonsen. Take the first game. He's being plucky, Jeon Hyuk-jin. He's really shown that Korean fighting spirit that we know so well. Just a couple points behind. Oh, what a shot that is from Antonsen to set up 3 game points here.
Game point 17.
So, Anders Antonsen takes the first game. And that's the first game they've won in this tie, Denmark.
He stepped up again, didn't he, at the mid-game break. His pace increased. He was a lot more aggressive. And there was a lot less played around the soft net. A bit more pace on the shuttle, and I think he's realised that's the play here against Jeon.
21-17 then, Anders Antonsen.
빠지지 말고 앞에 계속 치고 있어요. 치시 하나씩 과감하게 그렇게 들어가줘야 돼요. 차에 가면서 후반부에서 승부 노려야 돼. 후반부. 일단은 한스마시나 그냥 때려주면서 하고 또 여기는 조금 잘 나가니까 선수를 할 때 높게 올려야 돼. 높게 올려야 돼. 어? 제 공격할 때 수비만 한두 번 해줘. 어? 거기서.
Second game, level, play.
Do you feel that Anders Antonsen just took a bit of time to get going in this one, in that first game?
I can't remember exactly how long ago their last meeting was. It might be still fresh in your mind, but it felt like he was using the first half of game 1 just to feel out his opponent.
Last year? Oh, sorry, no, it wasn't. A couple of years ago.
Trying a style that perhaps wasn't as effective as the game finished. The intensity from Jeon has been top draw from the start. He's still playing in this physical manner as he can to keep up. But Antonsen has turned it up a notch. Second half of that first game, he just came out kind of all guns blazing.
Yeah, 2023 Korea Open. Won 21-15, 21-19.
Speed of movement from Jeon. Got to be careful. I want to see him move fast to the shuttle, but then play a slower shot every now and again. He chucked in a punch clear or two in the opening game and it caught Anna by surprise. He recovered well, but just change it up. Throw in something soft. Use the drop shot.
Nice smash there from Jeon Hyuk-jin.
There's got to be a little change of strategy for Jeon. The score looks good in the first game, but a lot of that was done in the opening parts. The way the last 15 to 20 minutes have been going, Atkinson looks like he's a lot more in control than Jeon would be for me. But Jeon needs to do something, change something. Another great rally. Couple of guns getting through this one.
Thank you.
The equation again, just as a reminder that Atkinson has to win this match to keep Denmark in the tie. It would be 2-1 if he wins. If Jeon Hyuk-jin pulls off a win in 3 now, it's all over.
That'd be quite an upset.
Yeah.
Not that Korea get the win, but Atkinson would have lost 2 consecutive days as well.
The lower ranked players, yeah. Actually, I don't know. Do you think the conditions have changed an awful lot? You said it's less drifty today? A little less drifty?
A little, but we're also looking at players throughout both teams that are a lot higher quality and can make those adjustments better, as you'd expect. We have been, commentating on some teams much lower ranked earlier in the week who naturally make a few more errors and also take a little longer to adjust. So that might deceive things. The arena's a lot busier today. There's a lot more people here this evening.
So let's say yesterday,
Yeah, certainly. It's a bit warmer, so therefore the air conditioning perhaps isn't turned on as high or as much. Or perhaps, I don't know, these massive arenas, sometimes there's doors opening and closing, or aircon turned up warmer or whatever, and it changes the conditions. But I'm not seeing much, and there's not a lot left to right or right to left. Lucky for Atkinson. A bit ambitious too. Well played. trouble, Atkinson, in the rear corners.
We've talked about a lot about career and why they go so deep in, say, the Sudirman Cup, and the Achilles heel in the last few years has been the men's singles. What about for you in terms of Denmark? Would it be, say, women's doubles, for example?
Yeah, 100% would be their, you can just see that in the rankings as well. They're lacking a good sort of medal contention type women's doubles pair. They haven't been really since the retirement of Christina Pedersen and Rissa Yule. Who's really filled that gap. They've had good women's singles players, but not world beaters.
Right.
Whereas in the men's doubles and men's singles, they've always been strong, so they're always a good Thomas Cup team. Korea typically used to struggle a bit.
Challenge.
Struggle a bit in the Sudirman Cup, in the Thomas Cup, because actually they haven't had that many top-class men's singles players in history. In fact, it was at the Sudirman Cup back in around 2000 or so where Lee Janil came onto the scene and beat Peter Gader, I think, in the quarters of the Sudirman Cup. It might have been the semis even, to knock out Denmark, and that sort of turned the tide. He then obviously played for a few years, and good pressure from Xiamen. And it breeds a new era of player as well.
Yeah.
Because you get some superstar from your nation doing really well, and then your nation starts hunting for the next one, and the next one, and the next one.
Well, since you brought up historic matchups between these two nations, overall, Korea and Denmark have met 9 times in the Sudirman Cup.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Oh, it's gone wide. Wow, he had John on the ropes there.
Was he holding his back then a little bit as well? Or was that just a hand on hip frustration thing? Left side, lower back, he was sort of... Yeah, I don't know.
That was an odd one.
So, 9 times they've met in the...
in the Sudirman Cup.
Yeah.
6 have gone Korea's way. The last time Denmark won was in 2007 in the group stages.
And of those wins for Korea, a lot of them more recent than sort of,
Yes, so...
years ago. I would expect so. I mean,
so since 2003, because you mentioned 2001, was it?
I think it
something,
was.
yeah.
Something like that. Maybe a bit later.
Well, Korea have won 3 of the 5.
Oh, brilliant rally again. Xiamen on top. It's a good... If he can keep this up, we're in for a terrific match.
Mind you, remember, it was this sort of stage in the previous game. He was doing well until around the 13-14 mark.
He was. Give him that. He's relentless. He's got a style and he's sticking to it. He's not really changed his tactics much.
It's interesting, these two have only met 3 times in the knockout stages. Korea have won all 3 times. So when it really counts, when it really matters, when there's no margin for error, Korea have won, and they've all been 3-2s, by the way.
That's amazing.
Clark Jubong likes it.
Again, having to gamble in defence. He just picked a side and went complete. Here we go, he goes left here, Jeong. Straight smash and he would have been nowhere near it.
Yeah.
He's
wincing again.
Yeah, I'm not sure he's physically that fit. I mean, that match against Alvi Farhan yesterday would have taken it out of him physically.
Yeah.
I don't know whether there's still some elements of previous injuries in there, or He does have a walk, right? Doesn't he? Where you just, he looks almost like he's tired all the time.
Yeah,
or
it's a bit of a
or
waddle.
a bit of a strut. Or
I got to say, that looked well out, and he's quite irritated there with the line judge.
Antonsen? Irritated?
Antonsen, no. What on earth was I thinking? It's unsighted in the end, but he looked across to the assistant to say it was.
He looked pretty confident that it was out, right?
Yeah. I think he's got this right, Antonsen. And I'm sure there'll be a little glare after this as well. There was a challenge on the other court as well, so this is just taking a little bit of time. Still waiting. This allows Antonsen just to have a quick chat. Maybe this works in his favor as well.
This is a world record Hawkeye result, by the way. It's got to be. If this is a foot out or something, it's just going to be laughed at.
He will give a little look. Especially as it's one that already was quite convincingly out. There we go.
Out.
Yeah.
Yeah, look. He had a quick look and had his hand out for a second, but
6.
he's got his point back.
9. Late.
He's done well. Jun Hyuk-jin really pushing Antonsen around, and only that smash in the end just lets him down a bit. But you mentioned, I think, in the first game that you kind of like Jun's aggression, and he's trying to affect something. He's trying to do something here. We perhaps didn't see much of that from Lina Kersfeld in trying to affect things, initiate stuff.
I think Lina Kersfeld did as good as she could today, to be honest.
Right.
I think she did try that. I think I wouldn't fault her for her performance. I think she was just not quite in the same league today. Yeah, I mean, John's come out from the very start with a will to win, a desire. I'm like, I'm going to try and be aggressive and quick and try and assert myself on this match, and he hasn't let up, not once.
Look at this. Look at
superb,
this.
superb. And you know, there are times where it looks brilliant and it's working wonders. There are also times where I think he needs a little bit more variation.
Right.
And keep Antonsen guessing, you know, throw in a few slices and punch clears just to unsettle him and then go full pace again. Antonsen is 3 in the world for a reason.
10.
And it's my gut feeling that if John is as one-dimensional as he's being, and I mean that in a respectful way, because he's obviously putting in a good performance here. He's currently in the lead. But Antonsen will work it out. That's what should happen.
Yeah, and he did in the previous game, right?
Yeah.
8. 10. Thank you.
Oh, he's quick to that. He pounced on it.
It meant a lot to him too, didn't it? The full reaction. Oh, that was borderline illegal.
Didn't really
I'd say
make much of a fuss about that,
I'd
John.
say 51% of the shuttle there was on John's side of the court. I was watching the umpire's reaction though, he nodded, which suggests that he's happy it wasn't an illegal shot. So
3 in a row for Anders Antonsen.
Yeah, I like this from John. There's just a few drops and a bit of variation. There we go. Mixing up the court. That's brilliant.
Oh, that is excellent from him. Attacking that corner, wasn't he?
Yeah, excellent rally from John. It's exactly what I was calling for. Slices, drops, a bit of a punch clear, a hold. You know, before that, whilst it is working to some extent, there's a lot of basic kind of, I'm just going to work hard and hit it as hard as I can.
So for the second game in a row, John Jin leads at the interval. Well, he's lost the first game. It's 11-10 in game 2.
Blokken derovre, så kommer vi ind i det der battespil, hvor han gerne vil ind og spille. Chance, som vi gjorde til sidst, at der var lukket med det her. Jeg har ikke lov at spille tilbage, at du bare vinder her.
11-10. Leg. Service over. 11-all.
Serve going long on this side is a little bit unusual. The conditions are generally quite slow according to most reports, and if there is a drift it appears to be coming from John's end towards Antonsen, so flicking long from there is shouldn't be as difficult as Antonsen made it look.
It was around this point in the previous game that Anderson sort of made his move and then never looked back. Can John hold his nerve? Can he keep going?
I think if it goes to 3, there's quite a big advantage for John after Antonsen's epic yesterday.
Oh, in terms of endurance?
Yeah.
Ah.
It's a brilliant rally. I love the change up. I like that he went for that stop drop.
He's got this walk as he's got this swagger. It's not because he just won that point in amazing style. This is how he's kind of walks like that. He waddles like that. It's
John we're talking about.
Yes, John. Hanson's got his own sort of walk.
Antonsen's is more like a gangster's pimp walk, isn't it?
Yeah, he's got 99 problems at the moment.
I like it.
Only 3 points though. But he's got the weight of a nation on his shoulders because he has to win this, remember.
When we did the Uber Cup, you and I, a couple of years ago, and it was Japan, Korea.
Yeah. Semis.
Every match was Japan were the favourites. Remember? And it ended up being 3-0 with an unbelievable performance from Kim Jae-eun, who beat
Nozomi Okuhara, wasn't it? Or was it?
Was it not Yamaguchi?
Maybe.
Might have been Okuhara. But it was a shock, a big shock.
Yeah.
And it was the singles we thought, right, Japan will win this singles in the middle, 2-1, and then they'll probably win the last 2. Weren't given a chance.
No, shut out.
I wonder whether that could be the same fate for the Danes today.
That would be something. That would be along the lines of what Korea pulled off then. Antonsen, though, bearing down on his opponent, just a point in it. As I said, around the time when he made his move in the previous game, just sort of stepped it up. Wrong-footed his opponent, and across him, and we're all square. And again, it is John who has led for much of this game, just as he did in the previous one. And that's the difference between the world number 3, a top player like him, and John, who's now in the 40s.
Oh, lovely. It's been quite a loss of that today, isn't it? A little bit of deception, especially that hold and flick up the line. Anderson tried for the wild trick shot.
15-14.
Park Jong-bu said this is the one that he really wants to win. The only thing that he feels he has yet to have in his cabinet was that determination to do it with his country as well. That was a driving impetus for him. Maybe that's infectious from the rest of his players, as well as the likes of Jeon Hyuk-jin. The class there of Anders Antonsen showing.
Brilliant technique, a really well worked rally, and he's got that lovely chassé turn. A deceptive racket to hit that shot, and still, John wasn't that far away. But yeah, I like that stuff we read recently by Park Ji-bong. There's a really good article on the BWF website about him actually, and his return to Korea, and how it really means something to
get that call up, right?
Yeah, they just keep getting pipped at the post by China. Including his own when he was playing, I think.
Yes.
I don't like the choice of clear from John. That's a few times in this match. There's absolutely no need to do it. I don't mind it if it's in and Antonsen doesn't get on top of you straight away, but to hit it out with a defensive shot after all this hard work, just giving the game away.
A couple of great points from Antonsen in this. Again, like he was in the previous game, starting to pull away from his opponent.
There's a few family members down there for Denmark today in the team dugout. They're definitely not players anyway, I can promise you that.
Yeah, it's not been this full, has it?
Well, they're older than you or I, that's kind of, that was my
point you're making.
Yeah. Evaluation. Good recovery from Antonsen. This is superb.
Oh, he's done well, John. And he's won the points. Look at the annoyance again.
I tell you what, that stung. That shuttle. We'll give him a lasting reminder.
There is this never give up ability of.
I saw that word.
You like that?
That's a new word, isn't it?
Yeah.
In the dictionary. Yeah, yeah.
Well, John Hyuk-jin.
There is. You're absolutely right. Frustration showing.
He's always a colourful character.
It's always the left hand.
Yes.
To his lower back on the left side.
That's what I was.
I'm not sure if he's just giving it a little stretch or if he's got an ongoing little problem there.
16, 17.
A point in it.
And I must admit, it's just my opinion, but if Anders Antonsen hadn't played this match, the only... Yes, John. The only other real obvious...
Johannesson?
Yeah, Magnus Johannesson, who, based on this performance of what we're watching from John today, I think John would have taken it, and that would be 3-0 and done and dusted. So even if Antonsen is slightly injured...
Oh, right. You're going out there.
I think he's... Yeah.
Right.
But this is much better from John than he played 2 days ago.
Okay, yes. Well, he's holding his own against the wall number 3. He might have a little bit of momentum with him. Last couple of points.
18, 17.
So he's a very different personality to Antonsen, who wears his heart on his sleeve. And you know when he's annoyed about something. John's unflappable.
It's a very, I mean, I know it's stereotypical to say, but it's a compliment to the Korean team who get put in these pressure situations so often, and still so often they go about it in a very business-like manner. We talked about Hyosun Jae earlier. That's a quality of his as well.
Sure.
Unflappable. I like to see a bit of emotion.
Yeah.
But if the style works, that's brilliant. Again, this match is getting better and better.
Wow. The business end now of the second game. Look, when you lose a crucial point and not react.
Thank you, Legend.
Yes.
Then, you know, that's also got to annoy your opponent a little bit, to not show a reaction. Right? And when say Antonsen got annoyed earlier, wanted to smash, that gives some comfort, doesn't it? Or some, you take something from that as an opponent on the other end. So it's just little things like that.
I shared the sort of same...
characteristics, were you going to say?
Yeah, characteristics as our colleague Chris Langridge in ways. Mentally, I mean. I wasn't the most... I didn't have a lot of John's mental qualities. You know, I was a lot more... You know, you knew how I was feeling.
You left nothing left to the imagination.
Yeah. And there was a bit of that in Chris's game as well, I would say, as a fan of Chris Langridge.
Right.
In the same way, though, when your opponent shows reactions, whether it's negative or positive, I'm going to try and use it as well. You know?
Exactly.
If you can wind them up a bit, wind them up. Absolutely, it's a sport. You've got to try and win.
You alluded to this yesterday.
Yeah, with Estelle Van Leeuwen and Tanisha Crasto and the way they're charismatic on the court.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's worth points in a match, I'm sure it is. Carolina Marin, is that in?
One of those sliding ones. Now he's challenged that, but he kind of castigated himself a bit there, because I think he knows that is probably out.
I think this just slid past the line.
Yeah, and he's probably just thinking,
my instinct.
I'm not going to give John that immediate momentum. Maybe just slow this down a little bit.
Yeah.
So there's probably a strategic challenge. Here you go.
He's going to kick himself for missing a couple of... That wasn't an easy opportunity, don't get me wrong, but he was certainly in good position.
Bobby, this is crucial because, as you said, if this goes to 3.
19.
Fancy John.
John might feel, yeah.
It's just a gut feel based on the body language of Anderson so far in this match.
Right.
It looks like there's a little physical problem. I might be wrong. But also, John had a rest yesterday. Anderson went to war yesterday.
Yeah, that's true. Now, crucial points here. Oh.
Another good rally.
It is.
There's a lightning pace about it as well.
Oh, brilliant shot from Jung Hyuk Jin on the backhand.
He's sticking to his guns. You know, he's got that style. He's not prepared to let up. Very, very few occasions we've seen him change the game plan, and it's now delivering. Brilliant from the Korean.
Tell you what, even Anderson grudgingly nodded. Yeah.
It's ready. It's ready.
Yeah. There was a nod of sort of appreciation of his opponent's work there when he reacted afterwards, wasn't there?
It's okay. Don't drink.
Look how far he slid.
On court.
They're having an argument now.
Line judge.
Oh yeah, there's a lake on the court.
I mean, he's absolutely well within his right to point that out.
Yeah.
Why
Xiamen didn't see that earlier and get
Correct.
this going. I mean, this match is already over an hour, and we haven't finished the second.
Yeah.
Right now, though, you don't want it to end. It's been brilliant.
Compelling. And look, this is probably helping him as well. I'm amazed that wasn't spotted.
Until just then,
Yeah.
Jeong has been prowling around the back.
I mean, he's chomping. He wants to get through this. He's on the roll.
He's going to show some fatigue this evening.
Right.
Because he's started the match mentally and physically at 100%, and he's still there now.
Yeah. Now, a game point for Jung Hyuk Jin to make it 1-1. Oh, it's gone wide.
Service over.
Just showing a little bit of emotion there. In these sort of situations, you would say Anderson has been here time and time again at high-level tournaments.
How many games have Korea won in the men's singles? Not matches, but games. I don't think they didn't win
in the Sudirman, you mean?
This week.
Yeah.
I don't think they've won any. I think it's been straight games losses. So for
set up another.
Just to win a game is an achievement. To win the match is a brilliant achievement. To knock out Denmark in straights, I mean, that's pretty massive.
Jan Lauda beat Cho Gyun-yeop in straights. Lin Chun-yi beat
They were all
Cho
straights,
Gyun-yeop
I'm pretty
in
sure.
straights. Yeah, you're right.
Game point.
Yes, second one for John.
Oh, a little bit of class from Jeong. We haven't seen a lot of deception. Just that hole, there it is!
John has taken the second game. This is immense for Korea. Wow.
It's honestly all guns blazing performance from Jung Hyuk Jin. He's throwing everything at this match.
It was a shot earlier to that you were really impressed with, the little drop.
Yeah, he just did a little deceptive backhand. You know, like you were saying earlier about unflappable, to have the nerve against the number 3 in the world, who, you know, 2 points later could have beaten you. You know, Anderson had already won the first. So just skillfully do a little deception. I mean, this guy's in a good place.
He is, well, we'll come back to that. Park Ju-bong now having a long chat here with Jung Hyuk Jin. He's just taken the second game. It's 22-20.
그래서 제가 대놓고 지금 들어가서 먼저 발을 튼단 말이에요. trykker ned mod
Det vil virke.
så bliver stående frem.
Ja, okay. Ja.
Ja, ja.
Det er ikke det, der virker.
Nej. Men
Det var at spille den blødt ind til net frem til at tage net,
ja, og så
give
løfte
ham bagved. Ja.
Det er jeg helt enig i. Men når du så ligger hans på landet, hvor du ligger og trykker mod hjørnet, så bliver stående langt fremme. Det er ikke, hvor du skal lukke det fuldstændig. Efter du kommer hurtigt på forbanden, så man kan tænke på forbanden her.
Tilbage til at finde ro.
Tilbage
til at finde ind i ro her. Lige til at arbejde langt. Det er helt forfra.
For 20 seconds. For 20 seconds. Good. Sorry. Shuttle. Change. Yeah, thank you. Final game. Level. Play. Service over. 1 love.
That was a superb second game from Jeon Hyuk Jin to make it 1-1. Now, yesterday,
2 love.
Anders Antonsen, 1 hour and 18 minutes. When he lost to Alwi Fahan. We are not far from 1 hour and 18 minutes here, about 10 minutes short of that right now. That's going to go well beyond that.
Truly excellent performance, though, from Jeon so far. Anderson's not been that far off. It's just been a few snatched moments, a few clip shots where he's missed the court, or some brilliant defence from Jeon.
You pointed out endurance because of what happened yesterday. There's also the mental strain. You've lost Alwi Fahan. That's got to sting somewhere. And it's gone
along, I think.
Wow.
But like I said at the very beginning, there's also that added pressure.
Exactly.
Of, if I lose, my nation is out.
That's what I wanted to add to that.
And I know I made a slightly confusing comment, but I hate losing more than I like winning. Does that make any sense?
Yeah.
And on this occasion, when your country, your nation are banking on you, that's one of those times where I don't want to lose.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to win, I don't want to lose. There's a difference, mentally.
But when you are in that position of not wanting to lose, does that then, that brings on a different kind of pressure?
I think so.
Right?
Well, I think it might affect your psychology of how you go about the rallies, because there's then a defensive versus offensive mindset. I want to win means I'm going to go out there and try and hit the floor. I don't want to lose means I don't want to get beaten, so I'm defensive, I suppose.
Fascinating. Whatever way you look at it. And again, we come into this, and you've talked about this all week.
I'm here all week, mate, for this kind
of
advice.
You are here all week. This is near the end of our week.
Oh, good save.
Very nicely done from Antonsen.
But yes. It's in.
Stayed in.
Antonsen with a couple of calls in this game already, where he's just, his head's just dropped. He's had to just look to the floor, head in hands moment.
Well, he's going against the ref, that just held up. You've made the point throughout the week, particularly for lower ranked players, that you've got nothing to lose. And in the sense that Jeon is lower ranked, and look, if he loses this, Korea still got the advantage, especially with the women's doubles coming up next. So go out there and play freely, right?
That's exactly what we've seen.
And you've seen that.
Yeah. massively. Even if we get to the point where it's 20 all in the third or something, or he's got extra points required and he's up, even then, you just get the sense that Jeong's not supposed to win this, but he's playing brilliantly with nothing to lose, and so there is that freedom. We saw it at the end of that second game when he did that little trick shot across the net at game point. I mean, he hasn't played many trick shots at all. There's been a hold and then a lift, but it's not the same thing as trying to deceive your opponent at the net like he tried. That suggests he's got a massive amount of... That's gone wide.
Yeah, it is gone wide. He is.
Denmark challenges ruled out.
Just saw the reaction of his coaches as well. As that went out. Or it looked to be out anyway.
Well, Antonsen is not looking like he's in a comfortable place right now. There's a lot of shrugging of shoulders and he's caught the line.
Correction in.
Well done. Well done to him.
Great challenge, yeah.
Go. Shuffle. 4 all. Play.
Good length from John. He's keeping Antonsen away and turns it all around as well.
Do you know what?
5-4.
This doesn't look like there's 40-odd places between them in the rankings.
Antonsen's level's not quite where it normally is. Something's either on his mind or affecting his body. Got no idea what. And also, John's playing the game of his life.
Yeah. That one's gone slightly wide.
5 all.
I think that drops Antonsen's level by 10-15 places and ups John's by the same, so they're kind of meeting closer to the middle. That's what we're looking at.
Thank you, judge. 5 all.
John's record in deciding games is 63%
win rate.
Win rate.
Deciding game win rate. Okay, I like this. Antonsen will be quite high, I imagine.
Yeah.
He goes through loads, and he doesn't really need to. Or rather, he feels like he needs to. He'll be on the bad end and let the end go almost and just hammer it out in the third.
He's also 63%.
That's a coin toss.
Which is, at the moment, the way it works.
Antonsen's got the better headband on. He's winning that battle. Oh, it's gone wide, is it? Yeah. They're centimetres in some of these.
Finding the percentages.
Service over. 7-6. Anderson.
Well there.
Yeah, it's a big smash.
6.
John. Does not want Anderson more than 4 or 5 points beyond him. It's very, very hard. There's not really been too many positions where that's happened in this match.
Wild. Yeah. Good rally to that point. Good the support. Kim Hee-jung there, I think. Really excited. Kong Hee-young. They're not playing today, are they? It's going to be Baek Han-ah and Lee So-hee in the next one, if we get there.
That's the depth that they have. I mean, this is the bonus when your Achilles heel is actually performing. Look at that.
Brilliant defense. What? Oh. A diving block. He's just... Jeong is firing on all cylinders. Antonsen is just millimeters away so often. I wonder how Baek Han-ah and Lee So-hee are feeling right now. They would have been backstage for ages. It could have finished in 2. Warming up, practicing, getting ready.
Yeah.
Are they... Can they not wait to get on? Are they hoping, not that their teammate loses, they want to see him win, but they also want to play. They'll be confident against the Danes. Or is that a silly question? Do they just want Jeong to win? They can start focusing on tomorrow.
9, 8.
Who knows what the selection's going to be, right? It might be that this was their opportunity to see how they perform and maybe...
Baek and Lee?
Yeah, I don't know.
They're
I don't know. I mean, you never know, right?
They're a shoo-in.
Yeah?
I think so. I like them. I like them. Kim and Kong are good as well.
Yeah.
If they're both here, I haven't checked. As in to play together.
9, 8.
They played earlier this week.
Yeah, Kong Hee-young and Kim Hee-jung. Yeah, they normally play together. But I like Baek and Lee. I like Baek Han-ah. She's a very creative player. I've always think she's fantastic. And Lee So-hee's had a brilliant career. It's nice to see them together. Nice touch from Antonsen.
Yeah.
Service over. 9 all.
I'll tell you what, you pay a few Danish kroner for a few more of those cheap points at this stage. A bit of breathing space on the scoreboard, because this is not the match he thought he'd be in.
No. I'll tell you what, even if he gets through this and Denmark somehow win this match, this tie, that's 2.
This tie?
If they get through this tie, I'm saying. That's 2 monster matches in a row for him.
I can't see the Danes getting through this tie. Already 2-0 down.
Yeah, I agree.
It'd be great, and it will take something special.
10, 9.
Because Antonsen and Boya are not at... They don't have the same experience as Baek and Lee, who play at this kind of level, this sort of tournament, you know, month in, month out, and that for me is a strong favourite, the Koreans in the women's doubles. And then the men's doubles, we've just got mid-game interval. We've got doubts as to where Anders and Kim are really.
Well, it's the first time that Anders Andersen has led at an interval. It's the 3rd game here, 11-9.
You can't change, but then it's the time. The time is going on. What?
내가 찍는 거 확실히 들어가면서 잘 치기 찍어야돼. 거기다 승부 걸 건 걸어준다. 백쪽 제 위에서 잡는 거 튕기는 거 있잖아. 그거 먼저 빨려 들어가면 안 돼. 그거 들어가다가 튕기면 안 된다고. 지켜보고 있다가 반응하고 변수가 쓰는 거야. 마지막이다. 마지막이야.
2:20 seconds for 2:20 seconds.
라운드 길게
11-9. Anders. Play.
Now this is about as big a lead as Antonsen has had in quite, I think maybe, just looking back at all the scores here, maybe even the match so far, until towards the end of the first game he had 4 points, so doesn't hold on to that too long.
Just long.
10, 12.
If that was a leave from Xiong, that was a terrific leave. Yeah, bodes well for Antonsen right now, but which is the better end? The one Xiong is on, according to the scoreline, right?
Service over. 13-10.
Or is it? There's not much in it, to be fair, is there?
No, this was the better end, I think, wasn't it? Oh no, you're right. Sorry, the far end. Yeah.
It was marginal in the second, however, 22-20.
Yeah, up by 3 here.
Oh, see, a little bit passive from John. That's more like it. Doesn't need to be a full-out lose your balance attack, but
now
keep some pressure on.
4 points.
10.
Probably about as far as you want Antonsen ahead of him.
Good shot.
Biggest lead he's had in this entire match. Anders Antonsen is up to 5 points here. Looking good. Anders Antonsen.
He's a cool customer though, John, isn't he? I'd be furious with myself.
Thank you.
85 minutes, 85th minute they're into. And to casually just lift one long with no pressure at all at this stage. I'd be
pretty livid.
Yeah. And he was just like, I'll just repractice that in my mind. Okay, let's go. Cool customer. He's done it again.
Yeah, this has been a very good run for Anders Antonsen.
10.
4 points in a row.
It's actually been a very poor run for John.
Yeah.
I see what you mean. You know, obviously the score is great, but Gion's like this slip. And strangely, I didn't think it'd happen because it's not his badminton; it's his mind. There's suddenly a fear factor. I could win this; it would be amazing, and he really, really wants to. And now he's scared of.
Korea challenges gold out.
How many mistakes on the back line?
Yeah,
so they're defensive
lot.
shots, and he's not under pressure.
But he knows also what happens on that back on that end as well, doesn't he?
But why isn't he attacking?
Yeah.
Attack, and you don't got to worry about the back line.
Yeah. You used the word passive earlier as well, didn't you?
This is all passive. It's
Exactly.
very defensive, very, you know, like we talked about earlier, scared of losing rather than trying to win.
Challenge
This has
unsuccessful.
completely run away from him.
One challenge remaining. 17, 10.
Very big
Play.
cushion now that.
Well, this might actually. Not another.
It's happened again.
18, 10.
This is not in keeping with how the rest of this match has gone.
You're on the fast end, John. You know, How many more of these shots do you need to play to remind yourself?
Do you know what, 6 of these already? Since we've pretty much every point?
Pretty much all 8.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Antonsen hit the floor. Thing is, when you start the match, the way John and Anders are set up, that's the feeling you've got. I'm massive underdog, I'm miles behind, I've got to just go out there, have some fun and attack the guy. And that's what John was doing. Yeah. And he got all the way to 2.5 games in. Now he's thought, yeah, all right, I'm in a match here, and panicked. It's just sheer panic. And
really lost his way, hasn't he?
Antonsen's experience, his coolness actually has shone through without really noticing.
And yet we felt at the interval, and that Antonsen just was not quite there today at the races.
It was a little bit like John, mid-game in the third, had been leaning on Anders all game long. All he now needs to do is just chop one of his legs out and he'll fall over.
Right.
That's what it kind of felt like. Yeah. And it's completely turned around.
Service over.
Well, he's brought that run to an end, but it's probably all come too late now. That was 7 points on the trot for Anders Antonsen.
Yeah, from 12-10, you're right.
Damage has been done.
He's just panicked. It's a real shame. I'd love to say, brilliant performance from Anders Antonsen. He turned it all around. He coped with all the pressure when it really matters at the end. It's not the case. I mean, there's still a little bit of time left, but it's not the case. Xiamen has just thrown this match away.
19. Quickly. Court.
7 points still to claw back here. He needs a similar sort of run that Antonsen just had. He hasn't had consecutive points.
He's not going to get that though, because Antonsen's not going to make all those mistakes in a row in the same way like John did. Oh, what a shot! I think it even caught the net.
Yeah, it did.
20. Match point.
And there you go. 8 match points for Anders Antonsen. It looks like we are going to go into a 4th match very shortly.
Game.
Well, he's pulled it out of the bag when it looked like he was in some trouble. Anders Antonsen. Jeon Hyuk Jin played his part. What was a superb match for, as Bobby said, 2.5 games.
2.5 games. The Korean was brilliant. Best he's ever played. Really proud of that performance, and it was really good to watch. Antonsen, to his credit, just hung in there.
Yeah.
Experience came through at the end, did his job, and got over the line, but it wasn't his best day. And I think he'll feel a little bit lucky that Jeon Hyuk Jin fell away.
Yeah, that period right after the interval, very telling. But it has kept the tie alive. And it means that, well, first of all, that pressure's off Antonsen, but it will fall now on the, in some ways, in the women's doubles, though they know they are not the favourites going into this. But a great match, and a long match as well, by the way. The longest, certainly, that we've commentated on this week.
We've seen entire ties. Yeah. Not be as long as this match, actually, at times. 1 hour and a half.
Denmark's Anders Antonsen beats Jeon Hyuk Jin of Korea. 21-17, 20-22, 21-12. It's taken 89 minutes. Rare in a men's singles match. Next up, women's doubles. Antonsen and Boye versus Beck and Lee. Lots of activities going on here at the Fenghuang Gymnasium as part of the TotalEnergies BWF Sudirman Cup Finals 2025. Something for the fans. Certainly enjoyed seeing them with all the different stalls of food, entertainment on the concourse. First time that Xiamen has hosted this tournament. And if you're just joining us, Korea are in the lead against Denmark. 2-1 at the moment to the Koreans after Anders Andersen pulled one back. But the equation remains the same. Denmark still must win. They've got to be perfect throughout, basically now until the end, if they want to win this. And it falls now on the women's doubles to keep the tie alive. And we've now had 2 matches in a row where it was clear who the favourites were. This is the 3rd one in a row where it's obvious to those who know the sport well that Baek Ha-na and Lee So-hee come into this as the overwhelming favourites against Natasja Antonsen and Alexandra Boye. I'm sure the man next to me will not disagree with that assessment.
Yeah, they're a force on the World Tour. Baek and Lee. Lee So-hee's had various partners. She's a lot older than Baek Ha-na and has done it on the world stage year on year, you know, for a decade now. Shin Seung-chan, I think, was a former partner. They achieved quite a lot. She's achieved a lot as well already with Baek Ha-na, who was one of the best juniors in women's doubles we've seen in a long time. Now well established as a pair. They've been inside the top 3 most of their last few years. Antonsen and Boye don't really play together. Boye's a mixed doubles player, a very good one.
Yeah.
Antonsen is now struggling to find a partner, really, because she had been playing for a couple of tournaments with Margrethe Fruergaard, who stopped playing with Sara Thorsen at the beginning of the year, and those two have since retired after the European Championships. I saw Antonsen and Fruergaard play at the mixed team championships against somebody fairly decent, and I was quite impressed. Since then, it's not been great. And these two are new this week as a pair. They're in a different league here, the Koreans.
Yeah. Okay, so you're black. Black. Serve. Serve. Yeah. You receive.
They finally got that sorted out.
It's quite nice to see the Danes walking onto court, having a bit of a joke and a bit of a play. They're massive underdogs. This is the one match out of the tie where, even probably more so than we thought the men's singles was going to be for me. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a big ask for Antonsen and Boye. And so it's nice to see them relaxed and just enjoying the occasion. That's the attitude I think they should have. And I questioned the difference with the English playing against the Indians yesterday for that reason.
Natasja Antonsen is 23, ranked 477. Wouldn't mind. Don't worry about that too much.
Oh, that's with his partner though.
Correct.
I mean, she's
exactly.
nearly top 50 with Fruergaard.
Yeah. Alexandra Boye is also more of a mixed doubles player these days. 25 years of age, 173 centimeters tall. Her highest ranking, 29th Mette Poulsen. That was a long time ago. They played together against Castro and Mishra. And won that in half an hour. Baek Ha-na is 24. Currently 3rd in the world. They have been a former world #1 pairing. The last time they did that was the end of last year. Lee So-hee is her partner. She's older at 30. 6 titles they've won together.
Ready to play.
Yeah, and those titles include World Tour Finals, Super 1000s.
Yeah.
You know, we're talking about the very top level.
They won the World Tour Finals end of the year. They've done well so far in this tournament. Chinese Taipei pair taking them to 3. That was loose enough for them, I think. Liu Yun is the Chinese umpire. Latif Jahari of Indonesia, the service judge. So, yeah, as I said earlier, the equation is the same. The Danes must win to force the 5th, the men's doubles. Take a leaf out of Jun Hyuk Jin. Play without the pressure. You know you're not the favourite. You know you're not expected to win. Go out there, enjoy yourself, and take it to them. Yeah.
Well, that's it. If the Koreans win, this tie's all over, isn't it?
Ladies and gentlemen, on my right, Korea, represented by Baek Ha-na and Lee So-hee. And on my left, Denmark, represented by Natasha P. and Tonnison and Alexander Ball. Korea to serve, Baek Ha-na to Natasha and Tonnison. Level, play.
Let's see how they approach us in the first few points.
Service over, 1 love.
Koreans will learn very quickly. They're on the faster end. It's a relatively sort of no-risk style the Koreans have, and so whilst I'm expecting this to be a Korean victory and in 2 games, it won't necessarily be a very, very fast sort of trick shot type
not their style,
quick
right?
points. It's just not their style, and they'll stick to their style whatever happens. Japanese top pairs tend to do the same these days. Nice shot. So they'll not let them play, but their style is to kind of, if it's a bit risky, put it on the back line, and we'll just go again. And that gives the Danes a bit of chance, but there's a consistency about the Koreans which the Danish pair simply won't be able to match. Lee and Baker also lightning fast around the forecourt and mid-court. Look at that. Baek Ha-na was already going back. Oh, that was going out.
Yeah.
Just rapid. Mid-court, sideways movement, and Baker
Service
net.
over, 2.
They, yeah, I remember commentating on their match, which took an hour and 14 minutes. It took a really long time to get going against Xie Peishan and Hong Gan-soo, who again were not
The Taipei pair. Chinese Taipei.
Yeah. And not a well-established pair, and yet they sort of struggled in the first game.
Good pace of rally.
3, 2.
Well, given that we know that the Koreans are happy to rally until the cows come home, would the Danes be looking to try and kill it off as early as possible? Is that
well, what time are we talking when the cows come home?
Very late.
Very late.
Like an all-nighter.
All-nighter. Okay, so I mean, eventually they'll work out the Danes aren't fast enough, and I don't mean endurance or power. It's more of that initial burst of speed needed to get on top of a rally. And there'll be a point where, if it gets to that, if it gets a bit nervy, the Koreans will just back off and go, all right, try and beat us.
Right.
Defend.
Okay.
And relentlessly ball them into submission.
So
and let them make the mistakes on the scoreboard. Gabby and Steffi Stoeva style, you know what I mean?
4.
So as much as
it might never get to that, but if it needs to, if the Koreans feel that pressure, that's what we'll witness. We've seen it over the years, and it's a compliment to them for working out a way in which they can decide, all right, look, we're better than these two, and these are the reasons why. And whoa, I haven't seen many shots hit the carpet.
So what you're saying there, Bobby, that okay, fine, you guys want to kill it off?
Have a go. Go on, see if you can beat us, and
go for it.
Right. Yeah.
Because we know how much they love defending.
Well, they do. Everyone these days is trying. The newer pairs in the world are trying to play a more aggressive attacking style. Chen Qingchen, Jia Yifan kind of not started the movement, so to speak, but there was a period before Chen and Jia where Korea and Japan in particular were very defensive.
Yeah.
It was kind of, don't fancy this, it's near the back line, I'll just drop it or clear it. Okay, I'm not going to come in and counter-attack, I'm just going to block or lift it back to the back.
Grind you into submission.
And we saw a lot of women's doubles which went on for, you know,
long time.
Hour and a half, 2 hours long, 150 shot rallies, and it was a very common theme. It all started to change, and they're trying to all play this aggressive style now, which is brilliant to win points and much more exciting for the average neutral.
Correct.
The Koreans have come out trying to win it. Good.
Yeah.
They should. If they need to change the style, if they feel a bit of pressure, they can play like that, and it's fine. It'll be fine. It'll be interesting to see if the Danes can be consistent enough to try and do some damage.
We had 139 shots, by the way, that day in the match against the Chinese Taipei pair from these two.
Wow.
Kind of roll back the years a bit.
Yeah, I think it was Malaysian Open last year, January. I had a 241 with Pearly Sound and Tina.
That's a record.
I don't think it's the record, but it was, yeah.
Certainly Malaysian Open record.
It was that week, yeah, for sure. Nice from Bake, clever. See, in the end, it's the solidity and the defence from the Koreans that won the rally.
8-3.
And that's where you just know they ought to be unfazed. If it gets a bit nervy, they'll let the Danes attack and just block and counter.
Play.
That was our longest rally so far, 39 shots.
It's in.
9-3.
It's all going very nicely for Beck and Lee. Already raced to a 6-point lead. This is kind of what we saw with An Se-young. Kind of dominance early on with Kersfeld.
Nice shot from Beck. She can be very creative. You don't see a lot of deception from Lee So-hee, but Beck's got this lovely ability to turn the shots up at the last moment.
She evaded that quite nicely.
Yeah, another one nearly hit the carpet, I think. Oh, halfway there. It was a good manoeuvre.
Nothing's really worked out so far, and at the interval of the first game, Beck and Lee with a nice 8-point lead, 11-3 against Antonison and Boye.
Danes have had a few chances here, squandered them, and the scoreline ought to be a bit closer.
I stedet for at spille i lange baner. Okay? Nej, jeg synes ikke, du skal bruge flere clear, men du skal være med bare at tyre med lukkede øjne. Så må du have nogle cuttere med og klar på den næste. Så vil sige, når du får det her hurtige løft, så kan vi ikke bare tyre med kæmpe sving på. Du er nødt til at kontrollere lidt og så klar på den næste. Ja, hele tiden.
Jeg kommer frem og rykker hele tiden klar bagfra. Tænk på at spille op.
Hver gang vi slår ned, flytter vi den. Hver gang. Okay?
Ja.
11-3. Play.
Very, very good so far from Beck and Lee.
Bit of an exhibition going on court one, I think, because the crowd are cheering with every shot from both sides.
Meanwhile, here in our court, it's 10-point lead that Beck and Lee have.
Good return. Half-court lift. One shot from Boyer to the damage.
Finally. In that run.
Play.
Alex Boyer is really animated in the whole what's the strategy conversation. And interestingly, the coaches are also quite sort of fired up. There's a stubbornness about them suddenly. At the start, it was almost accepted that Beck and Lee were the top dogs.
Couple of points here.
Service over. 14-5.
Well, Boyer trying to assert themselves on the rally from the return of serve again, which worked the previous time, but this time, deceptive return. And Lee So-hee read it like a book.
Just gone long.
Service over. Take 15.
Strangely enough, the Koreans will be happier on this side, the change of ends. I know the score is 6-15.
Correct.
But they've hit loads of defensive shots, just a couple of inches long.
Service over.
And on the flip side, they'll hit a couple of shots, a couple of inches short, which isn't really a problem when they change ends.
Scary if this is not their preferred end.
Yeah, it's true, it's not. You can see that from the 4 points. 4 of the Danish points, I think I've counted,
17-6.
have been unforced errors from the Koreans just hitting it long. Clever clear.
18.
You can go straight, it's quite safe. You can go cross, and it's deceptive and unusual. This time she just used the middle, and as Anne Tonneson and Boyer don't play together all that often, they both left it for each other. Wide.
It's all going very, very nicely. Beck and Lee are on the verge here of taking this first game in a extremely straightforward manner.
Effortless defence. Technically so good, it's gone long again.
19.
That was off the right hip as well, which is difficult to play and difficult to generate power from as well. Oh, walked in on that, Beck. anticipation.
13 game points here, Beck and Lee.
Well, I remember Boyer had a nice return and serve, caught the net, half-court lift, and Thomason hit the floor. I don't remember Denmark hitting another winner. It's all been Korean errors in terms of the Danish score.
First game won by Korea.
Well, very good first game, Beck and Lee, 21-7 against Thomason and Boyer. They're one game away from winning this tie and getting into the semi-finals.
같이 해야 돼. 서비스 넣고 내가 잡을 건지 뒤에서 커버해 줄 건지. 지금 약간 이렇게 하는 거 잡아치면 돼. 그냥 쑥 빠지면 안 돼. 간단하게. 잡아친다고 생각해. 잡아친다고.
쳐도 된다고. 그렇게 깔 필요가 없다고. 물러난다 생각하면 드라이브를 고대가 되니까 내 반대쪽으로 붙여주면 돼. 그거 하나만 안 하지. 그리고 그냥 지금 막 하나 그렇게 치면 돼. 뒤 아파야 되고.
쟤네들이 지금 네트 플레이가 이거 허가포지 선수 옛날에 있는데 걔가 안 잡히니까 이제 편하게 간다고. 가볍게 탁 스마시 되면 가볍게 드라이브 해주고. 일단은 쟤네들 스마시 내리고 드라이브 오는 거 그냥 바로 올려줘. 만약에 쟤네들. 쉽게. 지금 패턴 좋아. 지금 로테이션 커버.
밑에 사이드 볼 필요 없어. 그냥 안에 뒤집어 가면 된다.
무리하게 공격 안 해도 되고.
Court 2, 20 seconds. Court 2, 20 seconds. Natalia. And second game, level play.
So now, Korea serving for this game in which they they're a game away from taking the tie. Mind you, Jeonhok Jin is also a game away from taking the tie. Wide.
2 love.
Haven't quite hit the heights as this year the Koreans as they have in the last couple of years in terms of finals and titles, stuff like that.
Yeah, there's been a couple of very dominant Chinese pairs of late, though. Chen and Jia obviously have been right up there until the Olympics and on. I mean, they came back and won the World Tour finals, didn't they? But Liu and Tan for China have, when they've turned it on, they've been dominant.
Look at this, 4 love already. Yeah, I mean, All England out in the second round, 2 quarterfinals, Malaysia and India Opens, and the one final so far, the All England Masters. By their high standards, that isn't really where they want to be. 70% win rate this year, almost. So maybe something like the Sudirman Cup just can spark them back into life.
Running away with this, and as I mentioned, they are now on the preferred end, Bacon Lee.
Yeah.
They can sort of, when they need to escape and they're under a bit of pressure, They can now go hard into the rear corners, which they didn't really have the option of in the first, because when they tried, they went long. Hence 5 or 6 of the Danish points.
Oh, what a shot there.
Lovely.
It's nonchalant almost. Look, as it is, after they win the first game, they go on to win 75% of matches. Beck and Lee.
Play.
And when we talk about winning in 2 games, they win 77% of the time. So yeah, they are
7-love.
One-way traffic right now.
Yeah. Well, this is very, very good from Beck and Lee, and at the moment, I'm afraid, Tonneson and Boye just got no response to it.
9-love.
Interesting, isn't it? The crowd reactions to things. You can probably hear that there's a bit of a match going on the other court. There's a lot less one-sided in this one. Chance there for Tonneson.
Not often you get to an interval on a bagel. Not often.
We're not there yet.
We're not there yet. So let's see if that happens.
Yes. Boye finds a winner.
1-10.
That's the B team for Denmark. No, of course it's not. It's nice that they've had friends and family allowed into the seating areas this week as well.
11-1.
So that's very, very good. That's about as comprehensive first half of the game as we've seen here in Court 2. Beck and Lee, 11-1, having already taken the first game, 21-7.
Og det gælder begge to. Afvækken på en angriber, hurtigt fod. Det har vi splittet ad her fra offensiven, fordi det rykker på os, over til marker, begge to. Spille krydsspring her. Right? Vi ligger flere over mækken her, og lige hele tiden.
Court 2, 20 seconds. Court 2, 20 seconds. One. Play.
I love it. Still a bit of almost an apology there from Lee So-hee to Beck, and they're 12-1 up. Thought she didn't quite play the shot as perfectly as it could have been.
A lot of the Korean players have shown us over the years that they're a bit like a psychologist's dream to work with. Good pressure from Tonneson. In that, it's about the process.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't matter what the score is.
Right.
You shouldn't feel any different at 10-all than you should at 20-all. You've still got a job to do. You've still got to get your serve in, look for this, do that, get
Focus
your feet
on
right.
the point at hand.
Focus on the process of what you've decided the game plan is. And yeah, hence why Lee was apologising to her partner for getting something wrong.
Again,
she's frustrated that she couldn't finish that earlier.
Right,
and she's 13-2 up.
There's a strive for perfection as well.
Well, they know full well that they're going to come up against stronger opposition over the next day or maybe two.
Potentially one of the pairs that are next to them right now.
Oh, on the next court.
Yeah.
Ramadanti or Mayasari perhaps. Or yeah, Tanachai. Sujai Prepper for Thailand out there. Sounds like they're in a tough match too.
May well be a tougher test. Here, for now, they are cruising.
Indonesia leading that tie 2-1 at the moment with the women's doubles in action at fourth. So that's going to be the semi-final opponents for the winner of this tie, which at the moment looks like it will be Korea after this match.
15-3.
Yeah. Sorry, Ramadanti leading the charge here, and they win this match. It's all over on court one. Just as this one looks like it's conclusion.
They're just so solid.
All right, since this is coming to an end, and maybe the match in court one might be coming to an end soon, maybe. And I think we kind of alluded to it earlier. Indonesia versus Korea for you. Come on, we love these games. What do you think?
Cool. Men's doubles could go anywhere.
You're licking your lips at that one, aren't you? That prospect.
Yes, that will be a fantastic match if they do that. Men's.
Who are you going with?
Men's singles.
Alpha and Ardianto as a top pair or not?
Fian and Ardianto. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I am.
Okay. So men's doubles a toss-up.
I like Daniel Martin and Fikri, but I think Alfian and Ardianto
get the nod
probably.
Okay, so that's a toss-up, right?
But men's singles, but Indonesia, right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Xiamen is going to be fatigued and mentally strained, and he lost, and they've lost all week.
Yeah.
And but before we get, it's getting close here, Shazad, to the end of this one.
Yeah, it is. So quickly.
Women's singles, Korea.
Yeah.
So that's 2-1. Women's doubles, Korea.
17 match points here. So you think it's going to be closer than this?
Which one?
This tie. It'll be closer than this tie, right?
Yeah. It's gone.
That is about as ruthless as it gets. With Beck and Lee hammering Antonison and Boyer here. Delight for them. Very, very good performance.
Terrific from Korea today. I was so impressed with Jeong in the men's singles. These two doing what they were meant to do, what they were seeded to do, what they were ranked to do, getting the job done. This kind of level of competition is very much within their playbook, and they just had to go out there and perform today, and they did that with some style, less than half an hour. Superb. I think the rest of the team, though, have been brilliant. The mixed were great. I can't wait to see them play again tomorrow, assuming they do get picked to play in the same format as well. And it's a shame we didn't get to see the men's doubles, though.
Not that he needed it, but Seo Seung-jae gets a bit more rest, which is probably sets him up nicely for the semi-finals if they're going to go with that, which they probably will. But lots of errors, unfortunately, for the Danish pair, but just up against a very, very good Korean pairing of Baek Hana and Lee So-hee, who thrashed Natasha Antonison and Alexandra Boyer 21-7, 21-3 in just 26 minutes. So a fantastic night out for the Koreans, who have won convincingly, and in the head-to-head, that's now 7-3 in favour of Korea over the years against Denmark in the Sudirman Cup. And this has been really one of their more convincing ones. In fact, it's their best performance in a knockout against Denmark ever in the Sudirman Cup. They win 3-1 and advance to yet another semi-finals. They've done that in every edition of the Sudirman Cup bar one.
Bar one, yeah.
So we are now awaiting the identity of the last of the semi-finalists. At the moment, Indonesia are leading in games and matches. So we shall have that result shortly, we think. Tomorrow, semi-finals down to just the one court, but still 2 sessions starting at 9:30 and 5 o'clock. But from me, Shazad Haq, and Bobby Griffin, thank you so much for joining us this week. We hope you enjoy the rest of this Sudirman Cup.